Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us on the WRC channel for an exciting second half of the team playoffs for the Sankei Shimbun Cup 2024-2025 season. I am Chiral, and today I am joined by Nathanael. Hello.
Hello, happy to be here.
I'm really looking forward to this. We are going to be seeing the final game in a 3-game shootout, so I'm expecting a lot of greedy play, a lot of aggressive play, or maybe some really good defense if we've got a player in the lead. But yes, our broadcast today is sponsored by the WRC and USPML. We hope you'll check out Sparrow's Nest, a New York Mahjong studio, fully equipped with Slim Score, Ultimate, and Rex 3 order tables. WRC, of course, is the World Reachi Championship, the most prestigious international Mahjong tournament in the world, held once every 3 years, the next of which will be in Tokyo this July. But let's talk about the Sankei Shimbun Cup. 64 teams took part in the Sector League in Tokyo, and 20 teams battled each other during the Orb League in Western Japan. Now they've combined for a 24-team final. That means we'll see some players from the Orb League for the first time on this channel. In the first stage of the finals, teams have been split up and grouped into 6 tables, 6 groups of 4. To stay in the competition, they have to place first or second in their group after 3 matches. Yesterday we saw Table A's first game, Table B's second game, and Table C's third and last game. Today we're going to see the last games of Tables D, E, and F. Only 12 teams make it to the next round, and they each only have 1 game left to play. To start off, we're going to watch Table D. So, we actually got a new group, I believe, from the Orb League.
We do.
In Team Bing. We also have Speaker, Mahjong Pro Keirinbu, and EQ, which you recognise from the earlier rounds. And to start us off, from Team Speaker, we have Yuri Arai. In the South Seat, we'll be seeing Saori Tsuchida, representing Team Bing from JPML. In the West Seat, representing Team Mahjong Pro Keirinbu from NPM, we have Yoshi Ayuchi. And finally, in the North Seat, representing Team EQ from JPML, we have Ryu Tojo.
Excited for a fantastic set of games, and of course, going into this game 3, 2 games will already have been played, so some teams will be at an advantage, some at a disadvantage, but it's top 2 advancing, right?
Exactly so. So yes, even if you can't get first place, I think we're going to see that maybe in this first game, based on the opening scores. You can definitely aim for that second to get in. I'm looking forward to this. I'm really hoping to see some really aggressive play, because when you don't have much time left, and you want to try and make something happen, it's going to be really good. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll get right into the games. As you mentioned, Yuri Arai will be our first dealer representing Team Speaker. And I think that she's one of the players at the disadvantage. It's Team Bing, as you mentioned, from the Orb League, that has the advantage going into the start of this 3rd and final game. Tsuchida will be representing Team Bing to carry it home in this final game.
Yeah, I'm glad to be able to see the best players from that other league in Western Japan.
Yeah, good to see them having success as well.
We got to hear about, but not see anything from. And this is a very interesting start for our dealer.
Good shape.
Yes, looking at the scores right now, just want to talk about that because we do see that the 2nd to 4th gap right now is 17.19 points, right?
Yeah.
That's basically a position and a mangan. Or the gap between 2nd and 3rd, perhaps.
That's right.
So
there's
really,
a slightly different gap between 1st and 2nd, and 2nd and 3rd. An extra 10 points there, so...
But either way, I believe the person who wins this game gets 2nd place. Even if 1st place goes to Sujita here, I think 2nd is going to take the overall lead. So it's just great to see when the scores are this close. Either way, though, how are they going to change things? We do see an interesting situation here. Do you keep the flow to 5 pin? No. You got that Dora. You want to be able to use the 6 whenever you can and try and keep room to draw another one, but
dealer with a perfect Ishanta and beautiful starting hand. She's doing okay over there. Aichi has already opened up, and now Tempai
on a 3-sided weight, although actually she's opened up with the Yakai. She's fine.
No, I saw the 6-7 and I thought, is this Sanchoku Atosuke? But no, it is the Hatsu triplet. So Yaku confirmed, just looking for the win.
And yeah, given how close it scores right now, it's all about just maybe, I was going to say really aggressive play, but no, so no one needs a huge win here. Anything will do as long as you position above your opponents in this game.
Ooh, 7-mon, not giving up on potential bonus door acceptance, but has a really wide shape for Tojo. Oh, there goes the winner for Aichi.
It's cheap, but at the same time, if this ends up being a quick game, maybe 1,000 points is going to make this big difference. We'll see.
Yeah, it has them now. It's just a minor annoyance for Anai to lose her dealership like this, but the scores are still tight. Anything can happen.
But as we can see, though, even though Aichi came into this in third place, she's now in second from that one hand. That 1,000 points temporarily has got a top 2.
Now, our first chance to watch Tsuchida sit in the dealer seat.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the players I think is really interesting, right? Because she doesn't have to do that much right now. She's got a very, very sizable lead. That as long as this game doesn't go completely to pieces, her team is through. So what do you do in that situation? Do you just sort of just chill? Do you fold more often? I'd probably fold a little bit more often. Just, I can get a second or even a third here.
Yeah, perhaps play with a route in mind to fold, just in case something happens. But you're certainly not afraid of losing your dealership like other players might be. And
yes,
that doesn't mean you shouldn't build for value, right? Build your hands. Certainly padding the lead will help.
Aichi there was quite interesting. She's got rid of the 1-3 can jump, which is a bad shape, but I think she's hard committing to a flush here.
Perhaps starting with 1,000 points and then going for the value play in the next hand.
You could definitely see. Honestly, in that situation, when you've got a pair of ones, you've got a pair of threes, I definitely understand the tendency to want to pawn rather than necessarily try and draw 2 of the 2s.
Right. Let's see if she continues to drop mons with that. That will help.
That will help. It's store as well.
Oh,
obviously, hard to use. But
pairs here for Tojo. It will be 7 pairs, perhaps? We're up to 5.
I think it's perfectly fine to hedge, but no, we're hard committing with the 4-man discard.
Yeah, the 4-man's interesting because you lose the acceptance of the Dora as a sequence. However, if you're going for pairs, you can always accept the Dora. Just make another pair out of that.
That's incredibly true. And I think the other thing is, if you are thinking that maybe another player is going for a flush, we see all those discards from Aichi. Maybe you're like, okay, I'm going to get rid of these Manzu early so that you don't have a chance to call them. Although I do like that draw.
The dealer has found Ishan 10. Perhaps Ipeko and Tanya upon drawing the 3-so.
It does look like it's no longer a flush anymore. That 6 of 8 is going to stay in the hand. And we are going to see a reach, as you say, the 7 pairs waiting on the white dragon. Once cut.
Yeah,
Once cut on tiles.
It feels so rewarding to get that early tempi after hard committing to the 7 pairs hand.
Yes, exactly.
And a good way too. Once cut.
I really can see. Yeah, I can really see the hacker getting played by someone. If it gets drawn, of course. Only 2 remain.
Just twice cut, no concern there.
Yeah, we are going to see some folding from everyone here. Reach will do that. Wait, no. Wait.
And I might want to fight
graphic
this.
uploading?
Oh yeah, you're right. I don't see the Riichi stick.
We don't have a reach stick graphic, yes. Oh, that's fine.
It's okay. That's what our voices are here for.
Exactly.
Yeah, Tojo is in Riichi. Representing Team EQ.
I'm just waiting to see where those 2 white dragons are.
Tsuchida really keeps drawing interesting and useful tiles.
She's still 1 Shantan, though. She's still 1 away. Can theoretically get to Tempai and reach. The 9-man doesn't look terrible. Actually, how does it look?
Its Dora Suji is the problem.
Yeah, that's fair.
But that is the cheap side of the Suji, so... And again, with his lead, you could play... You could lose a few points. You can afford to lose a few points. Oh, wow. What to do here? We'll just jam out the 8-mon.
Send it back. Okay. So 9 does eventually get played for an even wider Shantan. But also, what I think more is just that the 5-pin looks really unsafe.
Dora comes out. That's notable. That will be called for Tempai.
Called.
Oh, not Tempai. Not
Not
taking the
quite.
Tempai. Going around the other way. So also doesn't like the middle pin
You
tiles.
see the white dragon? But yeah, I think it's really interesting how that 5-pin was very dangerous. Like, she had the option of going for Tempai, but as you say, didn't take it.
But by calling that shifts the deal-in tile to Tsuchida. She will deal for just Riichi Chitoi. No Uda hit, so only 3,200 points. And Tojo will get her Riichi stick back, taking the lead.
Yes, whoever gets second place here gets second in the event.
And will advance.
We're going to see a lot of swings right now, I think.
I think so too. Really looking for that big hand. Missing Uda there, it hurts a little bit because that was a Mongon chance. And those might not be so easy to
everyone
come
talks
by.
about 7 pairs being the shortcut to a 12,000 point hand. Just because Riichi, Chitoi, Sumo, Ura2 is always very nice. But not this time. Still, I wouldn't complain. As long as I won.
Certainly.
I'd really complain if I dealt in. We have an interesting situation. That 2-pin is really inefficient, but I guess you can keep it, try and aim for Itsu. It's definitely Dora, so you want to keep it for that reason, if nothing else.
Yeah, as these tables have gone by, I'm pretty optimistic actually about most of these hands. This one by Anai might be the weakest, but here with the Haku pair can open up, and she doesn't need to be too fancy, so a quick calling hand is totally fine. Ayuchi might have a Chanta here, an outside hand. And Tojo, of course, has these beautiful inside shapes. Perhaps Ipek or the twin sequences in the Sozu.
In an ideal would be fill in that 3-5 shape, get the pin through, but we'll see. Dora would also be very, very welcome there.
A pair. That's 3.
That's pair number 4.
You're right, 4.
But do you want to go 7 pairs? You've got that Dora, which is really nice if you draw a pair of them, but okay, we're going to hedge a little bit for now.
Keep all the options open. Pin not a helpful tile for Tojo, but 3-pin.
Huge fill here, though.
That's a great draw for Anai. Now her hand looks like it can win.
Oh, teasing us. But these spin cut already once, so we don't really need to worry too much. Oh, a chance to swap out the 3-5 for 8-4-7. We lose all simples, but maybe gain pin through.
Yeah, she might start.
Will she take it?
5. Oh, but there's Sanchoku chance. Yeah, that's actually a tough choice there. If you cut the 3-pin, well, hold on a second. There's a Riichi here. Riichi only waiting on the 7. So, Riichi Door 1 waiting on the 7. So
something we always keep in mind, that 4, 6, 8 shape. When you see a reach and someone cuts the 4, oh, that's a Dora pair for the 7 pairs hand.
Big opportunity. Yeah. That's dealer with potential long-gone value, or at least 9,600. Yeah, Tojo had the decision of going for the 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku or holding the 3-pin for the door acceptance. And now that there's a Riichi, that 3-pin is like somewhat of a liability. Although the 5-pin wouldn't be much better.
I could still see her pushing that, but she's going to have to draw some very good tiles and pair up the tiles that are very dangerous too. So yeah, a lot of things are going to happen to have that actually land.
I think it's kind of easy to get married to your position in the table standings. Say, I don't want to lose my lead against this Riichi, but it's early in the game. This lead isn't that large, so it's always difficult to decide whether how hard you want to push.
Yes.
Nothing really looks super safe here.
Safe drop here is 4 of bamboo, but that's not what we want to discard.
Right.
I guess she's wondering if she can get away with cutting maybe the 8, 9 of characters and then try and go for all simples.
Maybe one of the pairs. Oh, 3-pin.
We'll just cut the 3. Okay, interesting. That will give the 3-pin as safe to our 7 pairs player. So maybe there's a chance she gets back into Tempai. But she did take a step back by cutting that 9-pin pair, so Oh, this is Tenpai. And the 3-pin safe.
We're gonna see a chase.
Reach comes out. So 4-7 man for Reach Pinfu only.
Do not get the twin sequences.
Yeah, unfortunate.
Willing to accept this challenge. There's another 7-so, so one more tile for Anai has been removed as a possible winner.
Yeah, I think we've got 5 for the 4-7 man available right now. 1-7 all 4s. Maybe I'm missing a 4 somewhere. So it's actually not a bad weight for that Pinfu only, but
It's so soon, but the wrong one.
looking at that 7 barn, I don't think it's going to come out from Tsuchida here, but I'm looking at it every time.
There it is.
No, it's drawn. So
Smoking
Riichi
you.
into some.
No, lead up.
No error this time. The 8-pin was not a hit there, but that's okay.
713 is totally fine. And
Yeah.
she collects the Riichi stick as well, which is notable here. So big swing here for Tojo. Now, in the positives, +1 and the live score tracker. But still, we're only in East 4.
Yes, exactly.
And her dealership's coming up. The other players will see this as an opportunity to sumo a big hand and make Tojo pay the oyakaburi, the dealer penalty. The dealer pays a little bit more than the non-dealers here, so that could make a dramatic swing in the game.
Having said that, though, this is a very fast start. Not particularly valuable start. That triplet 5s does ruin a lot of the value, but having a triplet just at the start of the game in a middle tile seems very useful. Speaking of triplet 5s, the 5 of bamboo. There's a 7 attached to it, so it doesn't have to be a triplet. It could easily be a pair.
That waiting game, we're going to see what so tile we connect to in terms of Tojo's hand. 8-so and 4-so floating in there. Oh, all these middle tiles by Tsuchida means that the connectors might not be so easy to find for Tojo. A 2-mon pair up, though.
Yeah. And we did see Aichi pull the final green dragon, so she's got a Yakai triplet just concealed right now.
Great 3-mon board.
I'm not necessarily sure if you're going to suddenly open the hand now, but maybe for Toy Toy? I could see it with a pair of the 8-pin.
Oh, and a great 7-mon fill. Now Ishanten, kind of like a weird floating Ishanten. You can cut the 9-mon and be floating around the 8 and the 4-so, but she'll actually hold for the slightly wider mon shape and the better floating tile 4-so.
Yeah. Okay, so we had that 5-5-5-7. We ended up drawing a 4. 7 stays for now, though. But I could definitely see it leaving the hand very soon.
Ooh, that's a tempai, but that's not an ideal tempai. What is the play here? Throw it back.
Just throw it back, okay.
I do better, she says.
I think the big issue, even though you're dealer and a dealer reach early is still going to be very, very good. I do think the worry is that if you deal in at this point by overcommitting, it all goes wrong very quickly.
And somewhat problematically, she can't see any of the Dora. Oh, but that is slightly better. Shaba weight,
Okay.
2-mon, 9-mon.
I'm just trying to count. See what I think we've seen any discarded so far. Can I keep my eye open for the next turn? Might actually be a 4-tile weight.
Would be incredible for her. There's some, weight improvements possible, but I don't think she wanted to sit around too long holding a tempai. In the meantime,
Exactly.
she's making a move. Aichi opening as well. Ishantam.
2 players Ishanten pushing into this reach. They don't have time. They've only got this one game, and it's already East 4.
Yeah,
This game's been going really quickly. Wow.
it is. 9,
There's a 9.
gonna be held. But upon finding tempai, that 9 could just come out.
Yeah, I see it, absolutely. Either way, though.
Oh, that's tempai.
Oh, okay.
And
Is
it
there
surely.
any 6 is safer? It's not. So the 9 does come out at Dharma, but at Dylan. No error.
And that'll be
So,
okay. Not enough food to really bump up the value beyond 2k, so a couple thousand points for Tojo.
It must be feeling really, really happy like now. It's still not time to relax. These hands have all been very cheap, but just pulling it a little bit further ahead and a little bit further ahead.
Yeah, remember,
Well,
folks,
getting the points for Tsuchida is not the one person you want to get them from, right? You want to try and get them from the other two.
Right. Tsuchida has such a large advantage that she's okay with dropping a few points here and there. Tojo, though, as well as Ayuchi and Arai, fighting for that second spot to the playoffs. This is the last game of their series, so this determines it all, and that's where the tension rises at the table.
We have 3 last games for you today. It's going to be really exciting to watch. See how all the tables have got to this point and what they had to do to try and meet that target. But yeah, it's going to be really interesting. Oh, what an interesting draw. I was thinking about the 2-4 Sanshoku, and that the one so kind of goes against that a little bit, but still, always good to complete a shape.
Tojo here
always draw
as the dealer
with very short efforts.
The dealer with Dora pair always grabs my attention.
That too, yes.
There's going to be a question mark, I believe. It's Arai who had a singleton of the Dora. Yes, will it come out? It doesn't really fit so easily into that hand, although the hand is looking for a pair, so perhaps that's what the Dora is representing. The future pair of the hand.
I can absolutely see Arai trying to wait on the Dora. She does need to make some value from somewhere. So Dora 2 would be a way of doing that.
Though that extended shape in the lower mons, I believe it's a 2-2-2-3 mon. Can certainly find a Dora, a pair rather easily that way. Is it time to drop the 4-pin? You have 2 Yonnenke shapes. 2 so, okay, gonna float.
Okay.
The middle tiles.
I think that's actually really nice. 2 different shapes that can always turn into them, but can both turn into a 3-sided weight.
And even the 4-pin.
And it was rewarded for keeping the Dora so far.
Wow. And that's just Ishanten with 2 diamond shapes. Open-ended shapes.
And she doesn't even need to call the Dora. She doesn't need a triple of it. She can just reach.
Oh,
and there's the reward. 258. Very nice wide weight. But the 5 there has just been locked in with that 4 draw.
You definitely want to fight if you're Tojo here with 2 Dora. 1 mon will clear. And I also wants to take the challenge. She really doesn't need to. So she'll start with a safe 4-pin.
Okay, that widens the weight a little bit. 6-0 filling in is potentially turning that 8 pair into a second sequence. We'll see. Having
So
cut the 4, drawing the 5.
Yes.
This 2 is Mahjong. It's always the way, isn't it?
It truly is. 2-pin jam.
Yeah, when you've got two Dora, you can potentially win the entire game in one go. I do not blame her for jamming at all.
Yes. Here we have the 2-pin safe still. Tojo blazing a trail. The others to follow. Being the first person after the Riichi, that sort of ends up being your responsibility if you're Ishanten. Things haven't become super clear, but 6-0 Nakasuchi can be played. Two players sitting Ishanten with Dora pairs in both of their hands, trying to fight this down, but the 2-5-8 mon hasn't shown up yet for Ayuchi.
Yeah, I was about to say, there are no 2s left, there are no 5s left. I didn't count the 8s, but I think there might be a few 8s available. I think there's 1 discarded. So there are still tiles left, but unfortunately a lot of them have been used up already. Locked away. Safely hidden inside the vault of the other player's hands.
7 mon, 9 mon, but not 8 mon. There's Tempai.
Oh, just Tempai.
Deciding the weight. Is it going to be a Shabo? Is it going to be an 8-so cut into 4-7-so wide shape? Okay. 8-so clears.
I think with Dora 2, as nice as it would be to draw a third Dora.
Oh, we're going to see an immediate chase back. And I
Although
on
it's
the
that 5-8 way again.
5-8. Oh my goodness, we could see a double roll. And I would win the head
head bump roll
bump
is
if
on.
Tojo drops it.
But yes, the one thing to keep in mind is that there are no 5s left if we assume that people are not cutting the ones in their hands. Now you see at least, I think, 2 of the 8s. So there's only 2 tiles for the 5-8 ways there.
4-7, a number of those held as well. 4-7, so that is.
We saw the Sozu. Got excited for a second there. There's actually a very good chance this game
squeaks through. How is Tsuchida so close to Tenpai?
Yeah, despite the fact that she spent this entire time folding so far.
9 months, not it.
So close, but not quite.
I
think we might just see a 3 players Tenpai here. Which is very interesting because it's the 3 players who are... Oh, we see that one of the 8s get drawn.
Tsuchida, the only player that can fold here.
Choosing
draw
the correct moment.
For Tojo, and then the final draw. 9 pin. You're right, it goes to Ryukyoku. 3 players Tenpai. Neither of the door 2 hands could get there. The 3-sided Riichi Tanyao Pinshu could not get there either.
In our battle for second, all 3 players maintain the same score. But the one thing has changed. This hand has 2 repeat counters and 3 Riichi sticks on the table. Could be a very expensive or very valuable East 4 for someone.
You have to take this time in between hands to lower your heart rate.
Yes, absolutely.
A 3-way Riichi battle going all the way to the end is so intense.
And it's just one of those things where I guess everyone is either lucky or unlucky that they were holding each other's weights.
Door South, 1 held by the dealer, lots of honor tiles and number of mon tiles, so might be thinking about the flush, but that's not really the direction you want to go when there's so many sticks in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I would be going as fast as I can.
Yakuhai pair for it.
You might be seeing a flush here as well, perhaps. Either way, going to cut the inefficient Sozu shape, and then we'll see about the pins.
1 door as well for Ayuchi, we just saw that hand. Tojo with 1 as well. Not an easy to use Dora by anyone other than Anai, as she is in the south seat. Good to look at her hand.
Yeah, player's going for a potential flush here. Okay, we're giving up the flush on at least on this end. But with the amount of players who could maybe make a flush, you could just Tankiwait on the Dora. It's definitely doable.
Absolutely.
But yes. So how long is everyone going to hold their own one? We'll see.
3-mon from Tojo is an interesting move. For going the flush.
One of those sad situations to Tsuchida here, because she's got a pair of the East, but it's also the door indicator, so we know one of them's already gone. And there's the last one, of course, we can see that, but as far as she knows, the last one could easily be buried right at the very bottom of the wall.
I think Tojo's strategy here was to hold the Yakuhai as long as she could, and try to pair 1 up to have a chance at speeding this hand towards a victory. But it's just taken too long, and so she now accepts the 1-3, so which is not really any better than the 1-3 mon. In fact, arguably a little bit worse.
We have seen one Dora get played.
Is this pairs?
Will we see it be followed? Or will we see a 7 pairs hoping to catch the Dora? No, it gets played. Okay. So that would be an interesting strategy, right? You're going to make 7 pairs to wait on that Dora.
Interesting.
Especially if it's been played once already, maybe you could try and... if you can get Tenpai early enough, at least.
6
catch
months.
The second one.
6 months going to be the play here to keep the pairs alive. 4 pairs in hand. Ishantam for Tsuchida.
Yeah, keeping that 6 pin as long as possible. Hoping to draw maybe some... Actually, it's not going to be pinned with that, but...
Triplet induces the East. Will we see a pump?
We will.
Tenpai. 9 so 4-mon.
Now, the real question is, I know we've just cut the 7-mon, but would you consider getting greedy and going for that extra half flush on top?
Speaking of greed, there's a con opportunity. This isn't a shape that really... I guess you can cut the 7, so and have a 5-8 acceptance, so Maybe.
Yeah, I think the 6 of an 8 is quite nice to keep. Although I can definitely see if we drew, say, the 2 of the bamboo there. Maybe I would consider carning. I'd definitely think about it. If I knew I wasn't going to be able to use that 7 for something.
Oh, Tempai as well
This
for
will be our reach. So the weight is 3/6. The reach tile is the 4 of bamboo.
There are 5 tiles of that weight in Tojo's hand. A 6th tile here.
And yeah, this Tempai, like, it could easily win, but
And you could really see how Tsuchida is playing this game. 2-pin jam on Ippatsu turn against that Riichi. Nothing out there indicates that that tile is safe, but she just wants the game to end. The more hands that occur, the more likely it is that a Yakuman happens, and that's really the only thing that can threaten her position at the top of this group. So she'll take the fight, and if she deals in, that's fine too. Instead, she gets the win.
Yeah, as long as it's not to Tojo, then it's absolutely fine. And yeah, taking those 3 Riichi sticks will definitely... I mean, I guess it helps secure her position. But at the very least, yeah, as you say, we move on to the South round now.
Yeah, not an expensive hand, only 1,600 points, but...
Plus 5,600 though.
Yeah,
based
that's
on those
including
4
the
Riichi sticks.
All those Riichi sticks, really what pumps up that total. And now, the battle for second place is...
You get second place, so yeah.
Let's not forget...
Second place in the game. First place in the qualifier, but...
Right. Let's not forget that the goal is to surpass Tojo here.
Yes.
At least for Anai and Ayuchi. Pandora. Ooh, that's a...
I could definitely see Tsuchida just play a very fast Yakuhai only hand here just to move the game along once again.
Would make a lot of
That
sense.
red ring does get played. I could see it get called very early.
Yeah, certainly, this game feels like at least one player on the table is incentivized to play extremely quick hands.
Yeah, with a gap of basically 10,000, but slightly more, but with a gap of 10,000, there's no huge pressure to make super valuable hands, right? You can just make one Mangan and probably be in, if not second, then a position to get second next time. But still,
So it's an interesting fill for Daichi. And
I always think about Sanshoki when you've got that. I know the 799 is probably going to be 789 or a triplet of 9s, but what is 678? I always think about these things. I chase it too much.
I'm right
the 6
with you.
there.
Ooh,
it's now right there, and Pinfu, yes, exactly.
And that's the value that you really need.
Yeah, ideally you can get this in one huge hand, but we'll see. We'll see. The scores being as close as they are.
Recently,
this could be decided in South 4.
Recently, I had a Tempai waiting 6-9 so for Sanchoku if I got the 6 side. And since it was the final game of a championship, I had to decide whether or not I would take a run on the 9 so. And I think I incorrectly took the run. So I wonder if it will come down to that. The cheap side comes out, if she will take...
Yeah, it's always really hard sometimes to skip, especially if you reach. Also, this is that Tempai for the Sanshoku potentially. Either way, though, it is still Riichi, Pinfu. If they get the 8, not only is the 8 Dora, but Sanshoku Dojin for an extra 2 Han. Although I will say, there aren't that many 8s left, right? You see one here, another one right here. I don't ever see the Dora getting played to a reach. Yeah, third one here. So with each player having one of the Dora.
Oh, Ippatsu! The final Dora!
So, Ippatsu, incredible. Well done. Mahjong's easy. Just draw the tile. Just destroy it.
I didn't even get to see if there was an Ura there, but I was so stunned by the 8-pin draw. No Ura is Hanemon.
The error was, I think, 9 of bamboo. So the 6 of an 8 just missed it. But that's absolutely fine. I would not be complaining if I were her. right back into first place in this game and second place in the playoff.
And that suddenly swings everything. Now Tojo is in second place in the game, which means out of second place in the overall standings. Ayuchi takes that mark. A beautiful Sanchoku hand to take the lead. Now South 2. Only 3 hands potentially yet to play. And all of a sudden, Arai needs a big hand to come back into this one.
Does look like Ayuchi's got a very fast, it's maybe not necessarily valuable, but very fast hand. Already with a completed triplet and a completed sequence. And the 1-2 man, well, not everything in the hand is great, but...
Oh, 6-man fill. She has to find value somehow because the gap is 18,000 points.
Yeah, with the 4-pin in hand, she can at least accept the Dora, but having the ability to accept Dora and actually drawing it are two different things.
Right now, it really does feel like a 2-person race between Ayuchi and Tojo. Another pair?
Yeah, it's 4 pairs. I'm not saying we should go for 7, but there's definitely the option there, I suppose, now, if we draw a 5th. But I wouldn't go for pairs here. Having said that, though,
It's a nice central.
A loose 5 better than, yeah, exactly.
Can connect to the Dora shape, draw a 4-man. We'll sacrifice the 6, so holding these honor tiles.
Yeah, I do think that's quite interesting. But we'll see. We'll see if it pays off.
Perhaps with the shapes, she knows she has to Riichi in order to have a Yaku. And so she values holding the honor tiles to be able to speed the hand up. There it is, Chun pair.
Like,
Let's try his cut, though.
Oh, we're counting. Some quick maths being done by Tojo. I wonder what she was counting there. Was it just number of tiles in a hand, or
perhaps
I don't know.
An observer asked what the value of the last hand was to make sure it was actually Hanuman.
Maybe, okay.
Which is
she's been counting.
Sanchoku Pinfu Dora.
Still, Tojo does keep inching closer and closer towards Tenpai.
Dora, that's what we're looking for.
Exactly. We're talking about that Dora acceptance. Keeping those 4s for a reason. Hopefully it will continue to pay off, but we'll see. Do you think it's very interesting here, though, from Ayuchi? Keeping those 2 honor tiles. I know it's probably just because she doesn't want to deal in. She wants to have an escape route. And so she's valuing safety over value. But it's still interesting. Just it's going to slow the hand down just a little bit, I think.
It's just locking in the pair, and when you don't have pair flexibility, that can certainly slow you down. This is also a really interesting spot where she doesn't want to have 2 pairs. That's just cut away from the 2-mon and try to build 2 blocks in the Sozu with that 4-5-5-6 shape. This also will increase her value to be Pinshu. Incorporating more. Oh wow, just flush. I see.
Oh, maybe that's what she was thinking about. I see it. Okay. Suddenly, keeping all those honor tiles makes a bit more sense to me. I understand now.
The vision becomes clear. A 4-pin torso is excellent, and now 4-pin Sakikiri. Lock in the Dora.
But obviously, pin for Nathanael, perfectly acceptable, even if we don't get the twice the sequence there.
And coming together, but eyes up the 8-7-6. Oh, okay, 6-7-8 Sanchoku. There's the Riichi.
Did not see that Puro sequence, but Tenpai waiting on 2-5 of pins for Riichi pin for all simples. Perfectly acceptable for Arai. It's not over though. We are going to see aggression from both Arai and Ayuchi. There's a 2, it deals in.
4-pin came out preemptively, but it's close to the door. It's the tile before the Riichi, which almost makes it more dangerous, but she drops it anyway. She values her own hand, needing to get over Ayuchi, and that's going to Yeah, big punish there. Riichi, Tanya, Pinhu, Dora, Uda.
We were saying that Arai might have been out of it. It might have been a two-person race, but maybe not anymore. We move on to South 3. Arai still has a bit of way to go, but a Mongon, someone will do it. 2 hands to make a Mongon? It can happen. It can definitely happen.
Particularly now that Ayuchi is at her dealership, Mongon Sumo will overtake first place from Arai. Tojo needs a little bit more than that.
Yeah, I think for Tojo and Mongon Sumo would work. Yeah, either way, it would work, right?
Oh, sorry, you're right. 12,000
Yes.
the difference.
Yeah, Arai. If Fochi wasn't dealer, Arai would overtake, but Tojo wouldn't. But because Sayuchi is dealer, then
My
yes,
hundreds were a
absolutely.
little bit off there.
It's yeah, I make that mistake all the time. It's usually you correcting me.
This is a
very interesting start here.
Yeah, I would totally acceptable hand. You can turn this into a Tanya pretty easily, but she'll hold the 1-2 overlapping with the 4-5 so. And Ayuchi didn't win her flush in the last hand around, but seeing Tojo deal in was almost as good.
Yes, exactly. The gaps have widened just a little bit for Aichi, but she's still not safe. And I was thinking about this flush here. Still 2 away, but with the ability to call, I could definitely see. It's a bit more than 2 away, so I take it back.
Yeah, keep in mind,
from Arai.
Even though Arai is technically closer, she is probably going to have a harder time than Tojo recovering because Tojo has a dealership.
That's definitely true, yes.
So
yeah, as I say, Mongon Sumo can do it, but you still have to make that Mongon, whereas Tojo could potentially win a lot of cheap hands over and over again.
Yeah,
Arai keep that dealership going.
Is only allowed 2 wins. She gets 2 wins,
yes.
And then the game ends. So she has to make sure those wins count, and that's why the value is being built here. I think that's a con opportunity. Yeah, Hatsu is conable, but we'll see if the Kakan is chosen later in the hand at some point.
I was going to say, is it one of these situations where we see a potential Rinshan attempt? Either way, though, we do see the dealer Tsuchida currently 1 away with a very, very wide 1 away.
Here.
The Khan does happen right now. Okay. Our new Dora is, I believe, the east. No,
so.
That's not the truth. It's a 9. I take it back, which is very, very good. Tsuchida, not that Tsuchida needs to win right now, but even so.
Would you shift your Ishanten here to accept the Dora? I don't think that's necessary when you have Tanya.
The only time I would ever not play the 7 is if I thought the 7 dealt in at this point. I think. Now, I'm paraphrasing something I heard Gemma say once, but a lot of these hands feel like self-driving cars.
Mm.
They know what they're doing. They're going on their way, and all you have to do is just get in and hope that you survive the trip.
Yeah, that is quite a good analogy. And Tojo, perhaps the only hand here that she has to manually control. Rather
difficult. Still got a lot of wing to go to make this hand what she wants it to be, unfortunately.
If you get a Tempai, you could slam a Riichi and maybe flip a bunch of Ura. But the hand is lacking shapes as of now, so 6-0 is sort of a backfire approach. Tempai, Riichi.
Exactly so. Pure things on the 8, but I'm sure that Aichi will be happy to win no matter what happens. And we are going to see some aggression here. If the 5 does deal in, there is a very real chance that Tojo does eventually deal into this. Although I think maybe she's just playing to get the Tempai to try and keep the gap where it is, rather than necessarily.
Yeah, I'm not convinced that she's trying to win this hand. It might just be trying to prevent Aichi from extending this lead too far by avoiding Ipatsu. One extra Han there could be the difference between 3 Han and 4 Han, especially with all those Uda indicators.
Yes.
Oh, but that puts her on the perfect drawing line for the Takame.
So reach all simples, Sumo, and the Pure sequence Didn't flip Ura, but that's perfectly fine.
Well gone. The
In
Tanya.
fact, you would say that's more than perfectly fine.
Yeah, we absolutely take that. Didn't need any, whatsoever to extend this lead even farther. And now it looks like Ayuchi has this in the bag. She just needs to somehow pass the dealership and then end the game without losing too many points.
I know it's a huge ask, but like, what if Ayuchi gets first place overall? What if she can just get another 40,000 points or 40,000 point swing between her and Tsuchida?
That'd be
It's a
more
big
than
ask,
welcome.
but like, at that point, she could style on everyone and be like, you know what? Actually, our team's in first place. It's a big ask, but
maybe a bigger ask is for Arai to come back now. Again, at least Tojo has a dealership. Saibai is not what you're looking for, but.
And one thing you did say, a Yakumon can change everything, so you never know, right? There's always a chance.
That's 4 pairs. That's good enough to start Suanko hunting.
Yeah, 4 pairs with a pair of Dora. Maybe we just go 7 pairs Dora too. That's doable. Or perhaps Toy Dora 3.
The Hanuman, especially if you can get it direct, that would change everything. Yeah. But Hanuman already is a lot of progress for Arai, so Chitoy could be the route.
It's definitely the hope I would be having right now. Just need to draw some more pairs. That's not it.
Let's do that again.
Would I be convinced to pawn the Dora? Maybe. Would I be convinced to pawn the White Dragon? Maybe. Anything else? No. But I don't know about the other 2 things. I'd be very tempted if it were me.
Yeah, Dora in particular. I don't think I would call the Haku, just because that forces you into calling the Dora for value. And you're not really expecting to be able to.
Dora 2 is not enough if you did end up changing your mind.
I think basically all routes Arai needs to stay closed unless the Dora comes out. That's the only possible consideration that I would have here. Because you could get Toy Dora 3 Haku or a Hanuman.
Yes. Yeah. If the scores were closer, maybe I'd be more willing to call, but the gap is way too big. You need that Hanuman.
And
either way, though, everyone is trying to stop that from happening by winning first.
Yeah, it's interesting because Anai and Tojo are forced to build for value. That gives Aichi some freedom to do whatever she wants with her hand. The other hands will likely be a little bit slower. So as long as she gets to Tempai first, she could get there. Although we're seeing 2 calls.
We have seen Arai call twice. She's going for that Toy.
Okay. Says, I'll draw the Dora myself if I have to.
Although, having said that, her hand is very obvious at this point. After having called 2 pawns, and one of the pawns being a terminal, you know that they're doing Toy, or that they've got a Yakuhai, or both.
And that it's almost certainly got Dora pair in there too.
Yeah, that too, yes. So that does give a lot of information away. So it's going to be more reliant on her draws than necessarily people giving her the remaining calls. I don't think it's going to happen anymore.
Yeah, if you think about the types of hands that you're allowed to open for in this position, it's basically a necessity that Dora exists in that hand.
Yes. Which is actually really interesting because we do see that 8-9 shape. And I'm wondering what's going on. Are we going to see that 8-9 get kept, or are we going to see it get discarded? I'm not really curious. Bill, there's another pair. 7 pairs is the solution, because we do see that she cut one of the 9s already.
It's a fantastic solution because you never have to reach and you never have to drop the Dora.
Yeah, exactly. Though now, I guess we just have to send it back. It's nice to have 1, 2, 3, 4. No. Although that is an upgrade for the dealer. Maybe she could just get to Tempai and maybe shut this all down.
Oh, that's a triplet?
Still not quite helpful, though I guess it does give you a little bit closer to Tempai. Because she doesn't necessarily need to win a valuable hand. She can just win like all simples and end this to move this to South 4.
How funny would it be if Tsuchida wins the Yakuman? One person who absolutely does not need it.
Yes. Oh, the White
Haku.
Dragon. This could be Tenpai, but not yet. Not yet. Possibly not ever. We'll see.
Yeah, Ishoten, and she might just decide that I can never drop this against the Toy Toy. A dragon that has not been seen is a suspicious tile indeed.
Is going to be pawning. Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Tsuchida has backfired on a bunch of these shapes, but that doesn't matter when you're going for Chitoy.
This whole feeling that it's just going to end in exhaustive draw because no one is drawing Tenpai. I just have this horrible feeling that I'm just not going to see it today.
Certainly has that vibe. I think Aichi is, with every single discard, is more and more convinced that the Haku, the White Dragon, is undiscardable.
And rightly so. From first place in this situation, you do not want to be taking risks.
Green Dragon? I actually can't see any discarded.
Yeah, I was about to say, that looks... Oh, that looks live. Huh.
So there's another uncuttable dragon. And that suits Tsuchida just fine. Doesn't actually have to do anything in his hand, just let it come to its natural end.
Yeah, that definitely benefits both Tsuchida and Aichi. Obviously, you never really want to let your dealership pass, but if you're in the lead, it's not so bad. Oh, that's a useful draw, but still not quite Tenpai. For Arai.
Mon.
I think she might be able to sneak into Tenpai maybe before the end of the hand. That's my prediction, but I just don't see her winning.
Unfortunately, the 7-mon is held. The Haku is once held. The 1-mon, the Hojo is just... Oh, you're right.
It is.
I saw one of the 1-mon. Is there another one out there? That's the only route to winning.
I think I just see the one in, the one that we both saw there.
Yep.
Oh, there's the last one! It's not going to come out, though. No way.
I just
No way is
deciding
Aichi
which
going to make...
tile is safer. 2-mon.
So we now know where both of the 1-of characters are.
And both of the 7 characters, so... And I cannot win this hand.
She will get 3,000 points.
Unless Tojo tries to make a play here.
But having said that, 3,000 points is not going to really be enough.
No, she'll back away.
I'm trying to think of a world where it matters. Although we do see the dealer trying to get back to Tenpai. Could be dangerous, but she's probably going to play the 4 of pins. It might also be that she's changing who gets the last draw.
Yeah, I think that's actually what's happening here. It's just a draw shift.
Another side grade, if we are going to consider that 7 pairs, but it's no need to right now.
Tojo must be thinking, if only I could guarantee that the 1-mon or the 6-0 is safe, I could be Tenpai. And then she'll look and see that, nope, it just deals in.
Yep.
She
made the right decision.
But
it's both vindicating and also kind of sad, right?
Yeah,
She's like,
small
yes, I made the right decision, but also, dang it, I had no good options.
If Tojo had no dealerships for me, she probably would have fought there. But in this case, it all comes down to this.
I guess you can make 22,000 points in one hand. It's not going to be easy.
Sanbaimon.
Yeah, it's doable. It's just it's going to take a miracle, but you never know. Tojo, though, does not need to do it all in one go, so could be here for a while.
So again, there is one player who will be building for monster value. That is Arai. Tsuchida doesn't have to do anything. She can sit and watch. Aichi wants to win a hand to end the game, but doesn't want to deal in. So she has some decisions to make depending on her high-pie. And this looks like she'll play fairly standard. Just cutting the door early and preventing anyone from getting a super value start.
Yes.
And then Tojo can do whatever she wants. She just needs to continue to win. Or at least be Tenpai.
These are the situations in Mahjong where I stress out way too much if I'm in Aichi's position. I want to fold out, and I fold out way too early, and then I end up seeing that the dealer keeps winning. I'm like, oh no.
Yeah, honestly, I feel like it's harder to be the leader in this position because there's simultaneously pressure to do something, win the hand and end the game, and then also to do nothing and let somebody
Yes.
else control things. But
Because just sort of sat in the corner thinking, please, someone just fight for second place. Please just fight for second. Why is third still winning? Oh no, now they're in second. Now I have to win. I have no choice.
right?
And then you deal in, and it's like, oh no, now I'm not good. Anyway,
I'd almost prefer just to be in second place where the goal is clear, win a hand.
yes.
But in this case,
Very interesting that
Ayushi has the benefit of Tsuchida also being in the exact same position where neither cares how the game ends as long as Tojo is not winning, basically.
Yes, exactly. So we'll see. We'll see if we get to see repeats from the dealer here. Although Arai is building a nice half or possibly even full flush.
So
She needs to get the value from somewhere.
7 pairs flush.
See that?
If she does full flush, Sumo. Got 2. That's the Sanbaimon.
There's definitely a path. She sees her win condition. She's going for it. It is a long shot, but I love that she's not giving up. I love that she's still trying. It's great.
Very professional.
Well, you've still got a chance. You've got to go for it, right?
Absolutely.
At this time, it wasn't a Manzu. But yeah, one thing we have to consider, keep in mind is that because Tsuchida cut the 9 of characters in turn 1 and then drew another one turn 2, there aren't any door available. So even though it is a flush in the Manzu suit, I guess there's still 2 out there. We see 1 here. She doesn't know that, though. It does make things tricky. If it's pairs, the fact that she's choosing to wait on the door is interesting.
I believe Ayuchi's hand has just become a self-driving car.
Yes.
Give you a clear path to Pinhu.
But Ayushi has the option to fold, so technically you don't have to push it to the ends of the earth, right?
And that's why you're really happy that it has a Yaku, so that you don't have to Riichi.
Exactly.
If she draws the 4-so or the 9-so, she might have to reconsider, but... For the time being...
dealer here, she's still not quite getting there. Like, obviously getting a few side grades, which is always nice to see, but... still not quite landing where... she wants to keep that dealership going.
Even these honor cuts are really important as well for Anai.
Yes, definitely. Try to go for that full flush. Full flush to some pairs would be incredible to see. That would be one of the highlights of this entire tournament for me, if we saw that.
There's even some worlds with Dian Peiko.
Definitely.
Another route to Sanbaimon.
So for Aichi...
one thing you have to consider from Ayuchi's spot is that this north wind is not actually safe. It's not a safe tile. It's safe to the dealer, but it's not safe to Anai. And if she hits you with a Hanuman, some type of Riichi, Honitsu, Chitoi, or something along those lines, then that will overtake.
Yes, exactly. She does cut the north though, so now the path is open. We're going to see it probably get followed immediately, I assume.
With being twice cut, I think it's a little more likely that you feel comfortable dropping it against Anai. And also since you can tell that she's going for Manzu. If she does Riichi first, you can just fold anything other than that north.
I also like Tojo. We were saying how she wasn't necessarily going to go for value, but she's now building Itsu. So she's got some actual power here in this hand. Whether she lands it, I don't know, but it's definitely shaping up to be something more than just, hey, I'm going to get to Tenpai and Reach, which I do like.
Ishantan now for the leader.
Keeping that 2-4-6 with the overlap between 6, 7. It's what you got to do, I suppose. We do see a lot of the 5s, unfortunately. But we'll see. And yeah, that's Tenpai for Tsuchida. She doesn't have to reach. She's not going to. But just having the option of deciding, you know what, this game's over now, bye. I think is perfectly valid. Also, she doesn't want to be the one to deal into a huge hand like this.
She's played this game very well with that commanding lead to open up and finds the Tsumo.
Oh, and there it is. So Tsuchida claims 7 pairs, Adora 2. Gets her out of last place in this game. Not that she needed that, but it's always nice to see. And a team into the next round, the top 12, that we'll be seeing tomorrow.
Yeah, congratulations. It's Ayuchi who claims the first place and the second overall spot from this table. Well done, that glorious Sanshoku Ipatsumo on the very last 8-pin. Did it for her. It's well played, confirming her lead into a second place, honestly. This is kind of incredible. Anai and Tojo both fought well.
Yeah, this was a rollercoaster match, right? There was a position, I think there was a point in every point in the match that someone was ahead. So it could have gone either way, right up until maybe South 2, South 3. But until that point, there was a point where every single player was ahead.
Yeah, at the start of the game, it seemed that Tojo would have the advantage there. Anai's, her dealerships, her hands were so slow, she really couldn't do anything. But she made up for it with the hands on other players' dealerships and was threatening there at the end, but shutting it down with the Chitoi. Ayuchi, happy to see that as well, confirming both teams' advancement into the next round of the team playoffs. We have 4 more teams to determine.
Yes, indeed. You've got 2 more final matches, and for the next one, we'll be having, I believe, the brilliant Jenn.
Sleepy Jen, good morning.
Brilliant, and maybe a little bit sleepy. That's okay. That match was amazing. It was a roller coaster. There were 3 teams who all could have made second, and the fact that we had them all neck and neck, it's so fun. You really couldn't ask for much more in a finalist sort of setting. It's so good.
Yeah, there's so much to watch when you have 2 teams that will make it instead of just one. If you have one, then one of them can, or 2 players even, one of them can really take a massive lead, and it can get boring towards the end. But when you have 2 teams that can make it, then it's always exciting.
I was going to say the exact same thing. It's definitely so much more fun when the team that finishes second place has a chance, and you have 3 people fighting for that, even if one team gets way out ahead. But that's not necessarily the case. In some scenarios, all 4 teams are close, and then things get really crazy. I think we're going to see that in our next matchup, actually, Game 2. All 4 teams
I'm
very
excited
close.
today. We get to see all the Game 3s, so thank you, Cairo. So we get to see all the different players today, and it's all Game 3s, so there's always something on the line today.
Very good. As was mentioned earlier, in these playoffs, we are combining the Scepter League and the Orb League. Up until these playoffs, we have watched mostly the Scepter League, but every one of these divisions, or rather these playoff groups, has a player from the Orb League, it looks like. At least from what we're watching today. And let's take a look at the teams and players for our second set of games. Table E, again, as you said, Game 3, so 2 have already been played. Teams being represented here are Riichi City, Team Zhongring, Bar Brio, which is the team from the Orb League, and Team Heartland. And who do we have representing these teams?
So from Riichi City, we have Haruka Komiya, member of the Saikwaisen organization. In the South Seats, Aki Nikaido from JPML will be representing Zhongring. She's got a team with her sister Rumi and also Nakano, Taika Nakano, who's on his staff on their YouTube channel. That's what I was trying to remember. And then the West Sea, Mayu Suzumiya, who is actually just recently, last November, quit Kyokai. She quit the Nihon Pro Mahjong Association in order to join the Sanma League, the 3-player league, Zan League.
Ooh.
And so she's actually not become a pro in that league yet. She's just joined the league. I think you join the league first, and then later you take the pro tests and things like that. Because they have 2 departments. They have a non-pro department, so pretty much anybody can join, and then you can take tests later. And then in the North Sea, someone who we saw a lot in the individual playoffs, we got Seto from Saikoi Sen.
Very good. Well, let's find out how the stage is set for this set of players.
That's another thing. Also in the Orb League, there are actually not everyone is necessarily a pro. There are some amateur members as well.
Quite intriguing.
And that's not something you see in the Scepter League at all.
So many tables remain. Of course, this is the final game between this group of players. And we'll see in a moment, the scores are very, very close. Riichi City in the lead with plus 5.1. And no one's too far beyond that. When first place team is at positive 5, you can tell it's going to be a tight one.
Yeah, it's basically going to be whoever gets first place in this game and second place in this game.
I guess the gap between Komiya and Suzumiya is 11 points. So in theory, there's maybe some placement jockeying to be had, or more than just placement jockeying. But
only between 3rd and 4th place, though, at the 10-point difference. Everything else is at least a 20-point difference. So.
Yes. In most
Yeah,
situations,
so
it will just come down to placement.
Right. And many rules, like in the WRC rules, if the difference between each place is only 10 points, so in that case, it would be possible for like 3rd place to still, if Riichi City got 3rd place, they might still be able to stay in 2nd overall, but not with these rules because it's the 10-point difference is only between 3rd and 4th place.
Right, and even if they finished 1/3 and 1/4 place, separate by less than 1 point between them, it wouldn't matter because the other 2 teams are getting 1st and 2nd and therefore qualifying. So
exactly, right.
It comes down completely to the placement. And how does that change the way you play it? Do you play with more caution, or are you going to play a standard game here?
No, everybody's going to play pretty similarly, I think. In other tables, you'll see a lot of difference between the way players are playing if they're going for more... Like if they have to go for bigger hands, if they're in last place, then they have a shot at getting them to first place. But in this case, everybody can... So generally, in that case, the East round is going to be going for some bigger hands, more scores, and then the South round is going to be going for more efficiency and quicker wins.
Try to make your splash early on when you have more time to come back if something goes wrong. The South round's very tight positional play. We'll see who gets off to the early lead. Pair of Dora here looks quite nice. Ooh, 7-mon fill is pretty awesome. Connector excellent as well. I see the first reach come out from the dealer though.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the middle 8 character.
It's tempting to fight against this hand though, especially the players that have the Dora. But a dealer Riichi is always so threatening.
Yeah, and that's why you did. The weight is not necessarily very good, but Nikaido pulled in one of her winning tiles.
This is an Ishan.
She's got 2 of the 8s.
This is gonna be a will fight with the Force, so. And wow, perfect draw. Okay, second best draw for Seto. We'll slam 4-7 pin. Wait, Riichi Dora 2. And some bonus foo as well. Oh, but that's a tempai. We're going to see a third chase. 5-8 mon. That's a better weight than the dealers. Except most of the 5 mon are held by Seto, so...
Yeah, Nikaido has a couple of the 8s.
Yeah, she's actually...
She's only one away.
We could see it 4 players slamming a Riichi in theory.
Yeah, she could get there without dealing in, but...
Riichi Dora 2 for Seto. It's going to be 50 foo, I believe. Nice. 6,400
That
points.
takes Komiya's dealership away right away, so we'll go on to Nikaido. Very quick first hand. Especially everybody's reaching, so there's very little like time taken to think after that. It's just draw, discard, draw, discard.
And all those Riichi sticks collected as well will put Seto in a great lead here going into East 2. Nikaido will have the dealership now. The advantage over Suzumiya simply because she wasn't Tempai.
Sometimes not getting Tempai does save your butt.
Yeah, sometimes in game I'll be like, oh, I backfired on this tile. How unfortunate. We'll wait till look in the log later and realize if I hadn't backfired, I would have dealt in. So
yeah, exactly.
My inefficiency pays out. Dora 5, so Central Dora, one held here by Suzumiya. Can be slid into this hand by Seto. One as well for Komiya. Reasonable shapes all around. Nothing really stands out as super far ahead. Nikaido has the Haku pair. One cut already, but she can open up for the White Dragon in the future to maintain dealership. It's a great Dora connector. Her way towards perhaps a Nathanael. Suzumiya, one pin pair. This 1-1-2-4-5 shape is so awkward to me. Because if it was just a 1-2-4-5, I wouldn't have a problem cutting away from the 1-2, but now that you have the extra acceptance of the 1 pin, makes it harder for me to get another go.
Yeah, if you don't have another pair in the hand, it's just fine. You just discard the 2, lock in your pair, and an open-ended, but she has another pair in the 9 bamboos.
Hoping for a draw that will make that shape clear, perhaps a 3-pin.
Yeah, but it's tough in that she keeps the 6 character, because she's going to basically use she discards the 1 dot and keeps the 6 character because now she's going to use the 9 bamboo as her pair. But if she drew the 8 bamboo, it would give her an open-ended around the Dora.
We do see this. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was just saying we do see the second White Dragon come out. Need to cut you off there. Yeah, I see what you're saying. The 5, 6, 7, 7, 9, 9. You get the 8 there. Maybe 2-pin instead. If you're planning on cutting that shape in its entirety, allows you to maintain that 8-so acceptance.
Yeah, but then you might get stuck in a shabo, so it's a really difficult decision in my opinion. It doesn't look like a pretty difficult one, but I guess I would probably choose between the 6 character and the south if I was trying to make it as flexible as possible by keeping the 6 character. Then I'm not going to be worried about keeping that safe tile as much right now.
Yeah, keeping the 6 mon kind of gives the impression to me that she plans on just throwing away the 1-2 in its entirety, and if that's the
maybe do that right now. No,
oh, d10
because she's already discarded the 8. Yeah, so that's probably even more incentive to discard the 6 character earlier rather than the 1 dot.
Makes sense to me. We do have Ishantan from our dealer Nikaido, or so that Allows you to accept that 8, so even better. We're seeing an open here from Seto with a lead, not afraid to call this down for Tanya Dora 1. Or actually, that doesn't have a Dora quite yet.
Tanya Dora acceptance 1.
There we go, there we go. Sometimes I think the shape is so good, I can accept the door so easily. And at some point, I just feel like I have the door in my hand already, even though it's not there yet.
Yeah, I actually scored with saying the door, even though I didn't get it, just because that was my plan at the beginning.
Right? Unfortunately, believing it doesn't will it into existence.
Yeah, so Sutsumi did draw the open-ended with the 5 there and just 1 away, keeping... Has a safe tile and is gonna end up with that side 3-dot weight, it looks like. Or unless she can pull it first.
Tuso keep here feels like Seto believes that Nikaido could be Tenpai already. Tuso 5 still looks dangerous against that set of tiles, so playing with a little caution here. We are at the end of row 2. Ooh. Flourish there on the Riichi. Big hand opportunity. Riichi P for potential Sanshoku with a Dora. And there's a Tenpai, but the... not... Oh, the 4 is gonna come out. And she passes it through. I always feel so much, many nerves for the players when they have to jam a tile against a Riichi. Close to the Riichi tile as well, the Tumon. Gutsy play is going to pay off with the Dora Tsumo, though. Nikaido will collect 1,000 all, and the Riichi stick on top of it.
Dora acceptance 1 did work out this time.
4,000, so Nikaido into second place. Still only East 2. But the bravery paying off. And she'll get another dealership here. 1 Homba.
Yeah. And Nikaido's, they have a really popular YouTube channel, and they actually have their world channel, which has videos that have full English subtitles.
I'm
actually doing those subtitles for them, and they just put up a new one last week, I think, about 5 days ago, about places they recommend you visit in Japan when you come for WRC.
I have not seen that one yet, but I definitely am going to now.
Yeah, take a look. It's taken me a little bit longer to do the subtitles than I wanted when I do them, but the videos are going up.
We got Dora acceptance here. Okay, shapes. Dealer, you kind of did pull in the triplet of 4 pin a little while ago. Has excellent chances at slamming a Riichi. Suzumiya with the it's a pair.
Yeah, 1 exposed tile doesn't create any penalties in most rules, so they just put it back and move on.
Seto draws the 7 so and then starts counting. How many tiles until that 9 so? Can I time this Ipatsu correctly?
A lot of players, at least at the pro level, will avoid that on purpose.
Yeah, I actually watched, I think it was an Emily clip where that was intentionally.
Tokuma, I think that's the famous one, yeah.
Yeah.
He knocked over a 7-dot or something, and then even though he knew that was his draw, he discarded the middleweight. I think it was a middleweight set that would use that draw. I don't think it's such a big deal if it doesn't win you the hand, if it just like makes you tenpai or something. But if it's your winning tile and you can reach an Ipatsu for it and you're the one that knocked it over, it does start to rub people the wrong way.
This is an interesting decision now. Overblock, need to cut a sequence shape. We'll go with a 2-3 pin, perhaps just because of 1 pin has been discarded already. Five 8 pin. Tenpai 4. Nikaido, unsurprisingly, first Tenpai here. She had a brilliant start. It's a hand you really want to be able to fight with. Tumon Jam. Not a whole lot of information in that discard pawn, just the upper Sozu clear and some honors. So it can be easy to convince yourself to fight when you don't have enough information to fold with. Oh, and that's going to be a tempai. I feel like we're just jamming now. Two so 5 so. 2 so would be super takame.
This is also tempai, but the weight is so terrible. It's like probably my least favorite weight in mahjong. You're waiting for that, side 7 dot, or you can interpret it as a middle 7 dot. Either way, that's all you got. You're already using one of them. It doesn't give you the extra like points like the twin sequence does if you have, 8 7 8 8 9 9.
Yeah, just gonna step away from it now. I'm going to be honest, in our discussion about professionalism after flipping a tile, I did not notice the Dora 3 in Suzumiya's hand. So Seto does 2 so 5 so 8, not as good. Now that we know that there are no 2 so remaining, but 5 so still an out, even if it's a cheaper one, and that's tempai. 4-pin push. We'll clear. Tempai on the 6th mon. Matsudora 3, Mangan.
I did have the 8 bamboo is the exact draw that you want, but when someone else is reaching, you're basically folding. It's not as... see, that shape is much better, but now she doesn't have a pair. But she's not really going for anyway at this point. She's basically folding, so not a big deal anyway.
That is not an improvement because we are shitty done. It feels like you're highly incentivized to just play it out anyway. Against the 2 leaders, you know you have to take a top 2 spot, and you want Mangan tempai. Definitely really tough to make that choice, though, against 2 Riichis.
I saw the background table. Table F is playing their 2nd game, getting ready for their broadcast in the next game.
We'll be watching that as soon as the conclusion.
Yeah, they staggered the games this time. So they had the first 3 teams were playing. Not sure exactly what happened with table D when they played their first and 2nd games, but because there's only 4 tables in that room. Oh yeah, that would be perfect. So they probably started while all the other teams were playing their 2nd game. Well, A, B, and C were playing their 2nd game.
Wow.
Table D started their 1st game so that they would play all in a row and be able. We'd see 4 third games.
Suzumiya just read the weight and now finds a tempai again. Huritan. Is the 7 mon worth pushing here?
Yeah, I mean at this point, she's just going for the tempai points at the exhaustive draw, probably. So it's how much dealing in is worth. Yeah, there's a chance, but probably as far as points and deciding whether it's worth it or not, she's probably thinking about if it's worth it to have the risk of dealing in just to get the extra 1,000. It makes a possible 4,000 point swing with the non-tempai player. Sorry, it would be plus 4,000 or minus 1,500, so it's like something like a 5,000 point. No, that's not how the math works because that player would be minus 1,500 as well. It's like a 2,500 point swing is what I'm trying to say between that other player who is not going to be tempai.
If she's getting out, she has 4 tiles that will all clear. Has other options as well. It feels like 5 so is held by a non-Riichi player. Oh, but Nikaido draws the last one, I believe, and that will be a deal in Riichi. Pihu, Tanyao, Dora. Manga in hand, plus the Riichi sticks as well. And the home boss, Seto, in a great spot. And Nikaido, all that work she did on her dealership goes to the wayside, now in third place. But again, placement's what matters here. And with Seto coming out to a pretty strong advantage at this point, perhaps players start to eye up second place. However, it's still early days. First is in theory up for grabs still. Especially if you can win a big hand on your dealership, and Suzumiya now has that opportunity.
Yeah, it's still in the East 3, so everybody still has a turn a dealer waiting for them. Lots could still happen.
8-pin door floating in hand. A little awkward when you've got the 5-pin as well. But holding both tiles will help your good shape acceptance at least. Komiya, fantastic start. To take a look at those shapes again. They're too good. Suzumiya pairs up the 5-pin, which allows her to connect cleanly to the 8-pin now. With a rather slow hand. Yeah, that was that double reach chance?
I didn't quite see if it was or not.
The 2-pin was cut from Tempai. Didn't like the 3-pin weight for double reachy only, I think. It's pretty rare though. I see that you pass one of those up. Perhaps can build some bigger value here. Maybe you consider holding the 8-so for an Ipeco chance, although the 9-so has already been cut once. There's also Ipeco draws twin sequence for the Mons as well. 4-mon or 7-mon will get you there. Holding the 8-so, to me, screams Dianpeco.
It's just so hard to... I've actually had Dianpeco twice this year so far. That's how rare it is. You count it, how many times you get it a year. I won with it twice this year. I mean, I wouldn't count normal online games that I'm playing. So these are official like tournaments or matches, league matches. But I think that's the highest rate I've ever had it in my entire career in 1 year is twice.
Twice a year, incredible. That is Tempai. We're going to see the Riichi from Suzumiya. 7-pin for Riichi Dora 1. So that was Ishanten here. Now is a chance to 2-4 Sanchoku. Chito Ishanten here. Oh, but the 5-pin. That is a terrible draw. Anipa's turn. We'll cut the 8-so Suji instead. Frustrating. This is you were Ishanten for Dianpeco. 6-so. So is in the lead here, so she doesn't need to push, but I want her to, just because she has 2-4 Sanchoku.
Yeah, and you were right. It was a double reach chance for Komiya. I don't know if she... it looks like it'd be a hard one to miss because she had also sorted her hand.
Yeah, it feels like
completely.
it felt like an intentional decision. And we can see the 3-pins have not come out since then, so...
Yeah, she was hoping for the Kutsuki, the sticky.
Yep.
I mean, she made a sticky one away. I was hoping for something to stick open-ended, but it just never happened.
It's like, it's double reachy, but it's bad weight, and there's no Dora in your hand, so... Players might be forced to fight against you, and the one who's going to fight the hardest is the person who has all the Dora. So then you end up fighting against a Mangan or Hanuman with your double reachy only, bad weight, And they've had time to build a good weight.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's a double
I don't
Riichi.
know,
It's hard to say no.
I don't know, it's hard because she needs the points, so I understand trying to go for more points, but you do have Ipatsu and Ura chances. And also stopping other players in their tracks in these rules is pretty important as well. So
No,
I
that's
guess
something
double reach is less likely to stop players, but
I always forget is that players can hit Ura. It's been a long time since I've
yeah.
seen one of those. Oh, Tsumo! The 7-pin comes through. No Ura, but Riichi Tsumo Dora. And that will be 2,000 all for our dealer.
I also think Komiya might have been more likely to do the double reach if she had been dealer.
Certainly, if she was dealer, if she had one Dora, if she had Dora acceptance, if she had a diamond weight, like any of those things, and I think we would have seen it. As is, though, Suzumiya will make up some ground on Seto and extend the second place advantage. Again, as this is the final game, second place is good enough. So, repeat one more time as the dealer. 4-pin Dora, lots of central tiles here and a few pairs, including a singleton as the Dora. It's one of those tiles. So it does well with a reasonable hand. Can call the south as the Yakuhai. One door held by Komiya. No double reach chance this time. Nikaido with an okay hand. Is one that can improve with the Dora, but also has at least one awkward shape and needs to create some more blocks in that hand. Oh, fantastic
nice
draw.
fill-in for me.
Would you open if you were Seto here with a south?
In Seto's position, I definitely want to win as quickly as possible. I want to take one more look at her shapes other than the south first. I generally don't like to call the first value tile if I have a lot of middleweights.
At this point, we have
I
two
mean, now I
shapes.
would, but now I would with the 7, 7, 8, 9 shape. I might call and discard the 8 and 9 and lock in the 7 dot pair.
Having
Which
drawn,
I think is not, yeah, it doesn't follow the efficiency rules, but it just feels like it's so much easier to work with.
how about you just draw everything, everything
Yeah,
yourself? No need to call. Just slam a Riichi. A little sad to miss out on the Sanchoku chance, but you know what? We'll take it. 6-9 pin weight for Riichi potential. Riichi Dora 1 with potential Ipeko as well if the 9 pin comes out.
Yeah, she doesn't get Pinfu for that hand because the south is her seat wind, so it counts as a value tile.
Value pair, unfortunately, breaking the Pinfu rules, but Pinfu aside, it is still a fantastic early Riichi. And it's a terminal tile weight as well. 9 pins come out twice already, which makes it a little bit worse, but that last 9 pin should be somewhere out there in the wall.
Well, there's something stuck to it, make open-ended for Komiya, but she decides to discard her pair so that she has 2 safe tiles she can discard in a row to the reach.
Yeah, and she can always find a pair else. Oh, well, that's not quite the pair I was thinking about, but technically it could work in a jam.
Yeah, it's if she's... The 8 is Suji to the discarded tile. A lot of times Suji to the reach declaration tile is considered a little bit more dangerous. There's so few clues, she might just push it.
Yeah.
She's one away now, so...
And the 9 so have started coming out, so that definitely makes the 8 so a little bit safer. Usually that extra danger comes from the 5-7-9 shape, but if you can see all the 9 so, then you know it wasn't a 5-7-9. 8 so
To
anyway.
stick to the style she has, yeah.
Emphasis on that discard. Riichi
I mean, the
Sujita?
thing with
I don't care.
discarding Suji to another player's discards is generally not because you're looking for a safe tile. It's like you're looking for an excuse to discard
Mm-hmm.
a tile that's not completely safe.
Yeah, that's basically how I treat anything other than Genbutsu. It's an excuse to fight.
Right. An excuse to fight, or you're kind of looking for just any small percentage
Yeah,
of it could be a teeny bit safer once you're folding and run out of safe tiles.
an excuse to discard this tile over anything else.
I think I want a t-shirt that says, but it was Suji.
One chance is a lie. Bet you can make a lot of defensive-minded t-shirts. Oh, small. Which
Okay,
one was
call
that?
it. Can't see,
Can't
can't see.
quite tell. Well, there was no Dora, so I guess we'll
It's
find
probably
out.
the 6. Probably the 6, but we don't know.
Oh, the 9?
9! Oh, it was
Wow. The
twin
full
sequence
Mungon.
one.
Hmm?
That will
Ritsumo
really,
Keiko.
yeah, that really solidifies her lead. Going into her dealer turn, she doesn't need to really do anything at this turn.
Yeah, so we
Just
might...
only win if it's easy.
Maybe she'll play her dealerships with a path to fold in mind. Although, looking at these tiles, I'd be very interested in just building a hand. Just some honor tiles to clear through, but everything else looks fantastic.
Yeah, the shapes are really good. This is 5 honor tiles is so many.
Everything
When they
looked
don't-
good until those
yeah,
last two.
they're
We
not
had the
pairs.
perfect number of honor tiles, and then we drew 2 more singletons. Ooh, hello, dragons.
Whoa, and Komiya really needs all of those dragons.
Yeah, I think we'll be
That's trying
keeping
to
them for a
catch
while.
up to Suzumiya.
Hatsu first. That's not the one she wanted to see come out immediately. Doesn't get immediately followed by Seto though, so still a chance to draw one before the Daisangan Dream dies.
Alright, so if you made a whole bunch of t-shirts with defense slogans on them, you could call it your defensive line. Ha ha ha.
And then you make an offensive line. And we play some sort of IRL Mahjong. Squads wearing the opposing t-shirts.
I think we need to petition WRC. They usually have a t-shirt for their event. I'm not sure if they will this year or not, but in the past they always have. We need to petition them to make a funny slogan instead of being all serious and
I bet you it would be popular. The Haku was called, still looking for the final Hatsu. The other 2 have been discarded, so unfortunately.
yeah, it looks like she's also moving towards a flush to go with those dragons.
Yeah,
There's one of their oh, there it comes out. Boom. Instapone.
And now we are in waiting lobby for the green dragon. Or just any pin tile. Any pin tile will work as well.
Yeah, 2 away for that flush.
Seto, again, in the middle of cutting all these honor tiles, has made minimal improvements to the other shapes in the meantime. Now it's a little bit tricky. The east is once cut, but the flush player is starting to discard their own honors, so you never know if they are ending up on a Tunky, like an east Tunky, or they have a pair that they drew after the first one came out. Might be a little bit hard for Seto to drop it. And when you have any amount of sort of mental resistance to discarding a tile, you can always justify folding by saying, I'm in the lead, I don't have to do anything.
I mean, yeah, she really doesn't need to take any risk right now. Ooh. Triple up of the one bamboo? Is that... It's hard to see with the shadow.
I think that was a 1, so yes. So just discarding one of the extra sequence shapes, diamond shapes.
Seto starts to see the full straight dream, but she doesn't have a pair anywhere else, so that would be difficult. Komi has just run away with this flush, but she would have to discard the green dragon. If she wants to keep it, then it's a 2-away hand.
I know some people who would have cut away from one of these mon shapes, thinking, I can get to a full flush.
Wait, with Suzumiya's hand. I have to see it one more time. That's one of the difficult parts about commentating on these hands.
Oh, 8-pin.
Have to go around. She gives up on the small dragons, but still at 8,000 point hand and waiting with an open-ended wait, waiting for the 3-6.
Yeah, most of the times this hand would get tempi before turning into a flush, but oh, north.
Yeah, I think it's the 9 bamboo. Is that she had 9 bamboo or 9 dots? I think I can't tell if her first discard is 9 bamboo or 9 dot. It's a little bit blurry on my side, but
9 so. Oh,
yeah,
you're right.
so I think that's where should make the decision. If she had kept that, then it would be more likely she could discard the Monzu and go for a flush.
Good point. 3-6 pin the weight. Komiya Mongon to get back into this game. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, she's actually very close because second place is also advancing.
Yeah, 8,000 points is plenty. We're only in East 4, so there's still 4 more hands after that. Minimum 4 hands after that. And they have plenty of time left as well on the clock.
Pair drawn for Seto. That means Ishanten, if she can convince herself to drop the south. The Haku is safe. The south, on the other hand, less so.
It doesn't even need the risk of a later hand. Oh, but Komiya draws it.
That's acceptable losses for Seto. Only 4,000 points, whereas the other player taking 2,000. But for Komiya, that's a big deal. And Nikaido as well. It's going to drop to last, but she'll have a dealership remaining. And this win will also send us to Komiya's dealership, where she now has the task of taking over second place from Suzumiya. South round.
Only a 3,400 point difference right now.
Full placement battle at this point over the course of this entire game, but 5 Mondora not fitting into this hand super well. Nikaido has one and a collection of Monzu, but ooh, seems like she's considering the flush here. Suzumiya, a lot of honors to chew through at the early portion of this round. Seto, great 6 so fill. Maybe Ipeko in the upper Sozu, 6, 7, 8 twin sequence. And a triplet for Komiya is a nice advancement. Ah, 4 so. Well, ignore flush thoughts.
Yeah, there are times when discarding an entire sequence is necessary, but not when you still have a dealership left, generally.
Another central tile that could be paired up.
Actually, in the Ranma tournament, in the last hand of the first qualifying round, I needed a Hanemon. And I think I needed it from a certain player too. And I discarded 7, 8, 9 dots so I could go for a flush. and I ended up with a Haneman flush that I won from the dealer the last, I think it's the last 8 or something. It was the last tile that I could have possibly, the 8 bamboo. It was totally worth it to discard the entire sequence of 7, 8, 9 dots, but that solution is very rare.
Definitely worthwhile in depending on the situation. It wasn't, I'm sure, a South 1.
No, it was South 4,
Yeah.
and probably the second or third time of South 4.
Nikaido, as you mentioned, has more time than that. Ooh, 3-pin. That's a great fill. And notably, she cut the 1-mon earlier, and now we'll give up the 3-mon as well. Another so tile. So this is Ishantam. You can...
Send them at 2 middleweights. Yeah, this is one of the ones that might be worth going for a flush, but she just doesn't need it point-wise.
Yeah, maybe
And also,
for that reason, I also consider just throwing the 1-so back because it gives us an easier route to Tanya. But she's not necessarily losing that, and in the end, her final weight could be very strong. Plus, she has those flush options. Hello, 6-so.
the thing is that with the 3-5, the 5 is a Dora, so I don't think she's going to want to get rid of that, but it just looks so pretty.
I mean, if you get 7-so pulled, I would take that and cut the Dora in a heartbeat. I mean, I guess you could just take Tempai, but...
I mean, yeah, it's situational. I mean, if this is the third game. If this was the first or second game, even if you have that many points, then you easily make that decision and try and build a lead for your team.
The wall is saying to go one direction. It's also efficient. You can make that argument.
Efficient, you can call. She can call the Sonzo. She can end up waiting for the magical cult tile.
Let's see. She's been trying nothing but Sozu. One more?
Oh my god.
It's actually Tempai.
It's Senpai waiting for the magical Sonzo.
This is truly the power that Sanzo brings. And we'll just stop here naturally. There's no reason. Well, I guess there's actually not no reason, but...
That's Senpai too. Call me out. Senpai waiting for the 5-8 dot. And that's kind of what you're afraid of, going for that flush there, except for that it's not like she had any safe tiles to keep as an option.
Where there's a Sanzo, there's a way.
It's another shirt slogan.
Set to one more so tile. No. 7-mon, I think, was safe. Yes, came out the turn before the Riichi.
We counted the Sanzos. Yeah, there's one.
The 8-mon, safe enough.
Are there still 2 in the wall?
I believe so. I didn't see any in the discards, so yeah. And this is an Ishan 10 for Suzumiya. Can play out the 9-pin that will pass. Somehow, Seto continues to draw these safe-looking Mon tiles. 7 to 8 Mon, both Genbutsu, 4 Mon, Nakasuji safe, and this is Tempai?
Yeah, waiting for 7, 9 characters. Not a good weight, and she won't take it.
Mm-hmm. 8-pin. Will not come out. 1-so. You can switch the weight.
Yeah.
If there's a 1-so left, it is Genbutsu to the Riichi. She can also play the safe 2-so. So really it's just deciding if she wants the 1-so.
So you say, yeah, it gives her 6, 9, 1 weight.
Mm-hmm. You'd think that that would be strong, but no, it just goes with the 1 back, believing in the 3, and it comes out!
No,
Truly the best tile.
this is terrible for the Sanzo non-believers.
I was lacking faith at one point, but I'm starting to believe. The full flush for Seto. She didn't need the points, but she got it anyway. Foregoing the 3-sided weight. She needs to 12,000 points. Komi had just picked up a Mongon, and Nikaido had been looking frustrated at having to defend against the Riichi, but now she's back into 3rd and can take over 2nd place.
He was looking like, you know what? I've been at the table when Nikaido has done the exact same thing, and just completely takes everyone's points and keeps winning and winning and winning, seemingly without any effort at all. It looked like she was just like, all right, yeah. Of course, you get more points.
I've seen this before, but that's not a bad result for Nikaido, who now has the dealership and a chance to overcome the gap to 2nd. Only a little bit more than 8,000 points, 9,300, but that's a dealer Mongon. If she can get the draws to make it to Tenpai. Seto now. Dora in hand. East pair isn't incredibly helpful. She draws the 5, so she might even cut away from the east and work towards Tanyao. Komi a lot of work to do now, and this high pie a little bit slow for Nikaido. Seto can play with extreme Sakigiri now because she has so many points. It's going to be almost impossible for other players to catch up. Still 2nd place at stake here, even if that is the case.
Yeah, even if one player rallies and has an incredible dealer turn, as long as she's not the one dealing in, then she would almost definitely stay in 2nd place. I mean, like, keep 2nd place even if she's overcome.
Right. Oh, 3 so, and the east starts to come out, so planning perhaps to open the hand for Tanya. And if you're going to hold nothing but central tiles in your hand, you hope that you are going to be fast, at least. Technically, Ishanten here.
Yeah, for the 5, 6, 7 Sanchoku as well.
Before pin coming out to preserve that status. Now another pair. So it doesn't really need all of these pairs. Nikaido might. That might be her best route to Tenpai outside of Nathanael of her own. Tenpai, but no Riichi here. She doesn't want Riichi only. Bad weight. Especially when you have the chance to draw an improving tile towards the Sanchoku, or in the Sozu you can draw a wider weight, or even Ippei or Pinshu chance. Where's the 1? Well, that's Ippei, not Pinshu. It does have a Yaku, so we will take it at Dama. What do you think?
Not very Samali. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to give an opinion because all these players are in the playoffs and my team is not. And I think I had the worst record for my team, so definitely no criticizing going on here, but...
No, yeah, it's just interesting. Obviously, playstyles will also differ. That will be a difference. Senpin Onko from Chito Ishanten. Could we go even larger?
Karagiri, I might slam it on that Karagiri.
I
might have
know,
slammed it
because
somewhere on the
you don't
table.
want to drop the 5, so given the Suji-ness of the 8 so, but Karagiri disguises it a little bit. That is quite tempting. I tend to do that a lot myself. Don't reach immediately, wait for Karagiri. Oh, poem. Toy Toy Tanya is the plan here.
I still went away, but
More value to be had, potentially. Oh, Tsumo. We'll shut it down. Tsumo Ipeko. 500, 1,000. Suzumiya will extend the lead, but in a safe fashion. However, not out of the woods just yet. She has her dealership to survive. 12,300 points the gap, so Ningaido needs to do more than a Mangan Sumo.
and Suzumiya's hope here might even be just that Seto gets a quick 1,000 point hand and moves the dealership along.
Honestly, if you see Seto opening up for Tanya, you might just try to help that out. As long as you're not dealing into Tanya door 3.
Right.
We'll see what the door
Yeah,
indicator
it would be
is.
strategic in this case.
North? That's pretty safe. You're really happy when you see the 9-pin triplet, and then everything else is a little awkward here. Just starts with cutting a penchant. Not surprising to see Seto immediately discarding the Dora. Something that happens a lot when you've got the lead. We saw it in game 1 as well. Tsuchida, even though she was in, not Tsuchida, but rather Ayuchi, even though she was in the lead in that game, just throwing out the 9-mon immediately. Dora 9-mon. Triplet.
This is exactly what Komiya needs to try and go for a 4 concealed triples hand.
Sanko. Potential. Could also just be some sort of half flush with South Yakuhai. Maybe Sananko.
Maybe she needs 18,009. She has an 18,900 point difference to make up somehow. Since it's last Mai, she might go for something like that, but
I'm on board the Suanko plan. Just have to draw it. It's a little bit harder. Speaking of triplets.
Another Suanko chance. Alright, from now on we're going to commentate based on how many away each player is from Suanko.
Ikaido is like 7 Shantan.
I mean, Suzumiya is only a few shanten. Seto is not actually that many shanten away. This is only San shanten away. It's only Nishanten. It's only 2 away for Suzumiya's hand. She has 2 uncle already. We only need 2 more. That's 2 away.
All right, Suanko abounding in these hands. A pair, another pair. We could be Chitoi. It's okay, we don't want Chitoi. We want bigger and better hands. So not particularly useful here. And when you're building vertically with triplets and pairs, I feel like the hands tend to be really slow. You're just drawing and discarding a lot of your tiles just because there's so few tiles that you can actually accept.
Right. Well, that gets her closer to Suanko.
There we go.
It's just 4 away now.
Yeah.
Everyone thought I was joking when I said we were going to do this.
Technically a helpful tile, unfortunately. It's not helpful for the hand we're thinking about, but... Ooh, selecting the right pairs. Advancing in Shantan.
Yeah, only 3 away from Suanko now for Nikaido.
No Shantan change here, but we'll just throw it back. Okay, this is really your decision time. Komiya chooses to go back in Shanten. Aiming for the flush
I wonder
instead.
who's... Yeah. There it is. She pawns the Dora. Oh,
Right
not the
at the-
Dora. Why did I think... I'm sorry. The the indicator was a little bit blurry for me. She pawns the red dragon.
And that-
So it has totally given up on Suanko at this point.
This is also Chitoi Shanten.
Chitoi, or she could also use those Manzu as a sequence.
Lots of options. Nikaido's figured out that it's a Toitsuba. Playing the pairs. Keeping the Ipeiko chance alive though with the 6 so keep. Central Sozu actually look pretty useful here on the... Oh, 6 is actually twice cut. Never mind. See each of them in the hand to the right. That would be Komiya's hand. Wow, 1-so. Not willing to trust the West here. Suzumiya moving away from triplets as well. So a lot of caution being shown here. Sento at least has the Tanya backup, drawing all these Mon tiles. We'll never drop any of them until they get cleared by other players, but any Mon tiles that have passed have suddenly been reset in terms of their safety because of the Terashi from Komiya dropping the 1 Mon. Now all of a sudden all those other Mon tiles are dangerous again.
It's Senpai. Waiting for the south and the 5. Shovel.
South would give a second Yakuhai or the Mangan. Yakuhai Honitsu.
Kaido taking time to think. She, of course, both neither Komiya nor Nikaido have another dealer turn. So Nikaido has to make up a 12,300 point difference right now.
As we saw in the other game, you're only allowed 2 wins at this point if you are Nikaido or Komiya. So those wins have to be worth it.
And she's sort of calculating, because she's discarded the 5 character. Usually that 2-2-4-6-6 shape is really useful, but she's mostly has pairs. And she's thinking she can't discard any Manzu now at this point.
Yeah, if the 4 Mon is a necessary keep in the hand, then you know that you're drawing to just the 3-pin or the 7-pin or the 8-pin. You have to decide which one you believe in the most. And she picked the 3-pin. She got it right.
Heard somewhere that 3-pin is good tile.
4 Mon Riichi. Taking the fight.
Wow, she decides the risk is worth it, and it's going to be a lot easier to win on a non-Manzu tile than on the Manzu tile.
And she knows Komiya cannot use any pin tiles. Haku is safe. Nikaido Ipatsu chance. I think there are a couple 7-pins held. Oh, all 3!
Oh, the last one comes to Suzumiya.
And Suzumiya dropped an Anko of 9-pin. That could have been Suanko Tanki Tempa, I think. Actually, that would have been Suanko Tsumo if she kept the 1-so, I believe. You were right, it was Suanko all along.
Only she was listening to us.
But, of course, she would have dealt it on the south beforehand, so it ends up being all right. Seto has no need to drop the south, so only 5 on a potential out for Komiya, and I believe... Oh, Khan? I'm not sure there are any 5 mon left, but she'll keep trying. Yeah, 5 mon, last one is held, so it will go to Ryukyoku, 2 players Tempai, neither with a chance to win, as Suzumiya and Seto combined were holding all of the remaining winning tiles.
Yeah, and they had no incentive to just take Senpai at the end. They just want the dealership to move and keep their lead.
So a Riichi stick and a Honba added to the next winning hand. Nikaido, if we incorporate those sticks, can
Yeah,
win.
she is within the
a
Mangan Sumo range. That's the range you want to get into going into the all last hand is Mangan Sumo. And she
Seto,
has done it.
Seto is going to fold, right? This hand is
I
a little too
mean,
good to fold,
I
but
would.
it feels like this is one of those high priority situations where you just discard all your dangerous tiles and keep all your safe tiles and end the game.
It's like one away. She's a few away, but
It looks really good. You know, sometimes you're in that spot and you're like, maybe I should just win the hand because it's going to be harder to fold all of these safe tiles out than it will be to.
the thing is, she can deal into anybody too, and almost definitely keep, unless it's a Yakuman hand.
That's very true. Doesn't really want to play favorites necessarily, but when you are dealing into confirm first place, that's a totally acceptable thing in my book. Because any opportunity that you allow other people to win that Yakuman and surpass you could be a risk, and I don't want to take any risks.
Yeah, Suzumiya has a little bit more difficult position where she wants to kind of go for a win. She wants to make sure Nikaido doesn't win that Mangan hand that we're talking about, and doesn't want to give Komiya enough time to go for something even bigger.
Checking the point gap, making sure she has everything right, because Suzumiya can deal into, or well, she can't really deal into Komiya because Komiya should be building a hand that can overtake. The gap here is just under 16,000, so Mangan Direct is good enough for Komiya. That means Suzumiya needs to have a safe path to fold against both of the chasing players. At the same time, of course, as you said, she has incentive to win her own hand and confirm her place. So maybe based off of the high pie, she'll just back away because it looks like it'll be a huge struggle to get the tempai. Well, not back away, but plan for perfect draws and prepare to fold away safe tiles. Still advances to Ishanten. Tanyao. And throw away the 5/6 mod. It almost feels like if Seto gets tempai here, it'll be by accident. Now the 3-pin pair up. We'll cut away from the 4. Have a couple different pair options.
Yeah, she can pull south, but it's still pretty far away. So this is a tough position. Whenever I'm in that position and somebody else wakes up with a hand that overtakes me, so I feel a lot of stress even just watching the situation.
Yeah, we're talking about it in the last game as well. Being in the lead is not a comfortable place to be for me. One pin pair up for Nikaido. Seto has discarded so many useful inside tiles. It should be clear to the other table that she really doesn't want to win. Of course, strategically that makes sense. Nikaido really needs to win. It needs that Dora to get there. Draws not coming together. Suzumiya also appears to be backing away. Hasn't got those perfect draws. They're trying to make her Mangan happen. Okay, this is a great draw for Nikaido. Could be 1-2-3 Sanchoku with the Dora. The sumo that would be Mangan. Each sumo. Entrepreneur. Ipeko drawn for Komiya. Doesn't quite have the Dama Mangan, but she could somehow get there. Might be able to snipe Suzumiya directly. Oh wait, sorry, she has the 3 Pandora, so Dama Mangan potential.
Yeah, what Nikaido is. She kind of needs a Dora to get enough points, but maybe she's choosing Tanya over Dora. Impossible Son? No, Son, but the 5 wouldn't have anything to do with Sanchoku, so I guess it's for the Tanya hedge.
So drawing the 2 pin that Komiya needs. Oh, door 2. That's Chitoi Tenpai. Tanyao Chitoi door 2 is a Mangan. Dama waiting on the 4 pin. Now Suzumiya needs to not deal in. She's been collecting tiles that should be safe this very moment. She's been discarding them as we've entered row 3.
No, I think yeah, just leaving the Hail Mary 1, 2, 3 Sanchoku, I guess.
Not
First
many draws
Nikaido.
left. Is that a 4 pin? It is not.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just one more chance to just get Tenpai. It's not even. This is pretty much decided.
Maybe a last shot Riichi? Waiting on the 1 mon? She does have 1 more draw remaining, I think. So that's 1 more chance at the Hanetsumo.
Yeah, I mean, all you can do is kind of reach, right? In this case, if you just win and hope for an Ura, then it's fine. You're not changing the outcome for anyone else. I don't know. I think it's fine to. There's no chance, but just reach anyway. And this is Tenpai for Nikaido as well, but she'll take it, but she doesn't. I guess you take it just in the off chance that Seto accidentally calls Tenpai.
Last chance. High Tetsumo on the line. Hanemon misses. Great effort by Komiya. Great effort by Nikaido. Both of them building a hand that could potentially overtake, but it fell short. The tiles in the wall not coming their way. Seto gets the big win. Suzumiya confirms 2nd place in a tense all last. Nikaido in 3rd place. Komiya in 4th. But really the ending placements less.
I mean, the ending placements is exactly what teams are going to be moving on to the semifinals tomorrow.
That's it.
So ML Stadium and Heartland. I think was that it.
Yes. And
yeah. I mean, it's really interesting. You can see like playing for conditions, which is just so hard, and it doesn't come up as much until you're actually in the tournament situation. So it's really important to like learn about it and figure out how to play.
Yes, one of my favorite things about Mahjong is the end game conditions, and even more than what you see in your average Hanchan, these tournament conditions are so much more intense.
And everything from here on out for the next, we're having a marathon stream this weekend. Everything is going to be conditions. The next game is going to be the final game of the playoffs. It will decide the last two teams that will take their spots in the semifinals, which we will stream tomorrow, and then the finals will be streamed on Sunday. So much commentating this weekend and so much like action. The semifinals are just one game per player, one game per table. And the top team only moves on with one wildcard spot for a second place team. So it's going to be crazy action all weekend. And we still have one more game to bring you today, which is going to be commentated by Corak and Dave.
Hello, everyone.
What's up? So the last game that you guys are going to be commentating, the playoffs have been, we had 6 tables. This is the last table that has to decide who is going to move on from their table, and the top 2 teams move on. So it should be exciting up to the end.
That's really exciting. Yeah, I'm also a big fan of those point situations. That's when you really evaluate how good are you at getting those conditions. You don't even have to win, but it's one of the big things about being a pro and being at this level is at least giving yourself a chance.
All right, how about Dave? Have you found yourself in those condition situations often? Is it
I think
stressful, or do you think it's fun?
Oh, it's fun, but it's also super stressful. I think it gives you a lot more. I mean, of course, we all love more number crunching in our heads, right? So it gives you a lot more to think about in terms of what you actually need to do. And I think that it can be really, it's interesting. It's like it's harder and easier because when you have to play to meet a condition, you just do it, right? Like if it's Hanemon or nothing, it's Hanemon time. And that can be a really exciting like lunge to go for, a really exciting drive. So I think it can be a lot of fun, even, you know, when you have those things you need to get done.
All right, and before we go, I want to pull up one comment from the chat. Sanzo also has 3 sides, so I think that means even if you're a Sanzo Penchon, a side weight with the 3, so then you are still have a 3-sided weight. I think that's what they're going for there.
Yeah, that's true,
So-
because the alternative for that huge hand was the 3-sided 169 so weight, but Sanzo also
No,
3-sided.
the problem is, doesn't each one of the bamboo have 2 sides or 4, depending on how you look at it?
They're kind of stuck together with the Sanzo. So. All right, we'll leave you with that, and yep. Thanks, guys. Good luck in the last game.
All right, well, let's go ahead and jump in. Once you meet the players, and I assume Dave's ready for that.
I was going to say, we have some different teams up. Our new teams are Team Ampai with Kazue Miyachi from JPML. We have Cafe Beyond featuring Shiu Misaki. We have TF Channel featuring Mika Yuzuki. And we have Jansaku TV featuring Arisa Nakano. At Table 3.
No, this is a game 3, so more of those condition situations.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky. Let's see if we can get a peek at what everyone needs to accomplish.
Well, you can see them. They definitely have their game faces on at this point.
Well, it's the last table, you know, it's do or die. So it's time to...
These
Make
2
sure
teams
that we get
advanced.
what we need to
West is the first Dora. Speaking of one West, I see in there. It doesn't really fit with the rest of this, though. And we see the overall scores. It feels like Yuzuki is basically already advanced, and Nakano is just kind of sitting here, maybe trying to high roll something ridiculous. But it's going to be a fight between Mayuchi and Misaki. And it doesn't matter because they're within 10 points. Whoever scores higher will advance, barring some ridiculous blowout.
Right, like just from the UMA difference alone.
Even if it's
Oh, this
3rd and 4th, it makes the conditions very simple. So you can take a look at these hands. Feels like a Pinfu type hand with a Dora in there. This is just a Pinfu type hand, maybe a Peiko. The North doesn't go there. Of course, you have 2 in the discards. Never feels great, but that's what happens with those random wins. 6 doesn't do much immediately, but kind of holds an extender. The 7 connects to the 8. And another useless pay, just being held as a safe tile for now. 3 connects with the 1, 3, 3, 4. Can use it as a pair or just draw the 2. Speaking of pairs, now we have a Tuso pair up. Could even go Chinitsu, but it's a long way off. And there goes our first aura.
Ooh. Yeah, a lot of these hands seem to be coming together pretty quickly in the first row, which is a little bit of a fast start.
All right, I see a 9-mon pair. Oh, there's a Haku pair. I just go Horitsu. I'm cutting 6 or an 8 every time. Goes with the 8-mon.
8's way off on its own anyway.
Yeah, the 6 can connect with the 5 into 3, 4, 5, 6. It does have potential Furitin issues, but at the same time, it has value. There's our Haku. I imagine there's a Pole, and there is. Now you see how greedy. The answer is not locking it in yet, but probably moving towards Honitsu.
Quite possibly. Getting up to 3 Han's a good start.
Another pair up. Doesn't even want it. Wants to hold the Ryankan here. Likes the safe tiles with the north and south.
Okay, here's another door that gets kept. Ooh.
8-mon pulls in for any Peiko. We'll need another 7. 8, oh, that's the perfect
yep.
draw. You can't ask for anything better.
For sure Honitsu time with that.
Might even manage to pull an Itsu on top of it. And the 7 extends the shape here. You could cut Dora. You could cut any of the Sozu, I guess, except the 3. You could cut the Dora, cuts the 7, gives up on the Ipeiko route. There is, of course, a 9-pin out, so it's not great. 6 connects nicely with the 5. I believe that's Ishunten now.
Also Ishunten in this Honitsu.
3 connects to the 4, but there's 2 in the discard. Didn't believe the 2, 3, 4 Sanchiku, so punished ultimately. But you can never know. South, a useless tile. Back it goes. 9 so. Is that Tempai? No, it can't be. We have that 1, 2, 2 to fix.
Not quite, but we've gotten all the 1 suit, so we'll see if we can just call it out, I bet.
Oh, well, that's a draw. And just shifts it down, feels the 4 slightly better safe tile. Well, no, it doesn't fit either. You could have cut the 1 so, but I still don't think that's Tempai.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8 got the nice 3-sided shape.
Yeah, the question is, you're going to cut the 7 so here, you're going to cut the Shaw here.
You can cut the 5 so and kind of insist on that Dora pair, but that's risky.
The 7 has a lot of value in the Sanshiku, but no, just wants the Dora. 6. Well, that's an Anko of 6. You can cut the 9. I really like a 9 cut here.
It looks like there might be some angle for this Itsu.
Because I want to go the Itsu. Yeah, that's the plan.
Yeah,
it's the 9.
yeah.
You get the 3 and the 4, you're good. You use a 6 so as actual pair
That's
there.
the pair.
3 so pair up says, okay, goodbye, Dora. We waited as long as we could, but it's not happening. Because there are a bunch discard at this point. That's the 3rd one, I believe. 9-mon's a miss. 7 pins a miss. Threw it earlier. Chun's a miss. 9 pins a miss. And that's what happened. You're in the danger zone. Everyone knows everyone at the table could just reach you at any second, and everyone's just missing.
Yeah. Everyone's just waiting for that one draw they need.
Something to remember, even if you're at Ishunten, hell, oftentimes everyone else is too. That is Tempai. Can cut Tuso waiting on the 3 or take the wider shape here.
We took the wider shape, but I might have... That Itsu's really tempting.
This is a 3, so I believe this is an Intotsu type shape with a 2, 3, 6.
I just really like going from 2 Han, or from rather 3 Han to 4 Han. It's a big step there.
There's a lot of value, but at the same time, cashing this in is perfectly acceptable. And that's No, it's not. That's still missing a pair because you use the 2 pairs. That's the Tempai.
There we go.
Just a Riichi Pinfu,
6-9
6, 9. 5, close, but that's not it. Does not chi the 5.
No, probably not looking to get too crazy here.
Well, that
There's
is
another
Tempai. This just deals in, though. Oh, no, just doesn't want to do it. Throws the 8, says, I'm out of here. There's the Sumo, gets the 3, missed out on the Itsu, but will take the win. This is dealer with... No, it's not dealer. The Riichi was the dealer. This is non-dealer 3 Han.
Yeah, that's about.
Yeah, Misaki gonna take the win there.
Yeah,
And again,
full
her
house,
goal
reach
is
deposit.
just stay ahead. If you can stay ahead of Miyuchi, you advance. It's all that matters. You don't have to win those big hands. They're nice, but you need to cash things in.
Yeah. It's tough. Poor Nakano has such a tough time here.
Well, you almost have to be Yakuman Shibari, which is saying not winning
Yeah.
anything less than Yakuman unless it's your dealer turn. And similarly, Yuzuki doesn't really have to do anything. Just don't throw.
Yeah, don't
And you're
don't
fine.
completely ruin yourself. Yeah, if Nakano can put the game into a large swing, there's some small chance. Ugh. I always want hope. I always
You
want
you have to drop all the way down to third. That's really hard, even with a bad fourth.
Yeah.
But we see there's a Dora looking for the 79 Sanshoku, but the 4-pin's a really awkward draw. Could go 3, so it could go 2-mon. We'll go with 2-mon. This does potentially use the 5 as the pair. Speaking of pairs, a third one thrown back. Also doesn't like the Peiko with possible 2-mon draw. 5 so pairs up. 4-mon Anko's up. Still doesn't have anything. The plan there is to eventually get Itsudora 1, but it's going to require a lot of draws. 2 so pair. Maybe Chitoi was the play here. North
Got a lot
pair
of
up.
pairs on this table.
I just go 2-mon. I don't see the Sanshoku here. If it is, it's 4, 5, 6. Nope, cuts the penchant completely with the 1 so.
He built a 6-7 shape.
1 pin's a miss. Haku gonna be held safe towel. Cut the 1, so there's not even considering the Chitoi. 5-mon pair up. South doesn't really do much. Just gonna hold a safe towel for now. 6 so. Well, let's allow some shifting, but at the same time, you don't really want shifting.
1, 2,
Well, that
3
fills the
closes in.
2 there. 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku appears to be the plan. Speaking of 1, 2, 3. 5 pin pair up, but the hand's really cheap, even if it does get there. 1
Another
so,
one. All right,
okay.
well,
Well,
1, 2, 3
there
as
your
hard as we can.
Ishanten for Riichi Sanshoku.
Looks good. Looks good. A Dora,
4
but
pin.
that
Well,
can
that's
mess
a
up with the
Dora,
flop.
and it's a really ugly to use Dora in that hand.
Oh, we are
We
Ishan.
go headless. The plan is pair up the 4 pin.
And
Just
now we
draw
have the
Dora.
Sanshoku.
Always my plan. Yeah, that is Denpai. Pinfu Sanshoku
Dama.
would just be
That
3 Han.
is another Ishan 10 over here.
Well,
Ooh.
that's just going to be a Riichi. We'll wait on the 5. But it
Oh,
doesn't
but
matter
the
because it
Riichi goes
deals into
in.
the Dama. Gets the 3 Han here.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's Yuzuki
This is
playing
just Yuzuki
very
saying, I
safe.
don't ever want to throw a stick in unless I absolutely have to.
Yep.
Again, she doesn't care about the value of her hand. She just wants rounds to move.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, she was just going to chill out there, spring the trap if it happens, otherwise stay out of the way and keep the game flowing forward.
Yeah, you want the action to be between Mayuchi and Misaki. And if Nakano hits, goes for those Yakuman, just make sure you're not the one that deals into it.
Exactly. Exactly. And now Yuzuki's in the dominant position with plus 144 at end of game if all stopped right now.
Yeah, a bunch of pairs in this hand. 7-mon is Dora, kind of awkward for that hand. Can use a couple of them, but feel like it's more likely to be Chitoi. Well, we had 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku last hand, and this is there's a route to 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku, but everything's ugly. Similarly here, a bunch of pin draws, maybe Honitsu. 2, 3, 4, 4, nice shape. Actually, probably the best hand of the bunch. 3 so Anko. We'll go ahead and cut the 1 so, lock it in. Well, I was saying 1, 2, 3 Sanshoku needed some draws. That's the draw that pushed you there. It immediately said, you know what? I'm not even going to try it. Throws the 1 pin back.
Maybe looking at 2, 3, 4.
5 so connects to the 7. Again, this hand is basically going to fish for Dora, and it's going to be Riichi +1, which is not ideal, but you take it if you get there. 6 so, shift this up. You now have an 8 and a 2 in the discards, has a 4, 6 as well. 5 connects with the 4 here. Moves the hand forward. Still headless.
7,
8,
8.
so, well, you can just move this up. Shape's better. Still needs 2 pin pretty badly. 1 on Onko.
1.
7 pin
Closer
nice
to
still.
that
The plan is just
flush.
hold it to now. It's just
Oh,
going
yeah.
for it.
2, 3, 4.
This is
5,
Ishan
6.
10. Gonna be a bad weight regardless, unless there's some maneuvering. That's why you have that 6-month floater. 2. Ooh, well, this is also Ishan 10, and not
Okay.
ideal because you'd be at a 3, but I'd definitely take it if I got there.
Could get to that Sanshoku, but
4,
the
so
value needed
moves
is
this
so
towards
high.
Tanyao. 3-pin pair up. There's also a Sononko route here if you don't ever get a Dora. 5 Mon just be held for now. 8 Mon, well, it just waits on Dora, so gonna take it. Ishunton. There's
Oh.
that second Onko I was saying. I said there was a route to it.
That's a little exciting. We'll see if that pans out.
And the other side is you just end up drawing the 7 Mon. Well, you know what? That's Dora. That's always fine.
Yeah, no problem with that.
Oh, well, what
Oh,
about Suonko?
well.
And you see the hesitation. You know, I'm going for it.
Oh, wow. All right, now we
And
have.
this is Yuzuki, the dealer who just honestly doesn't care and would love to get a Yakumon, is the exclamation point, on the televised table.
4 for 3.
I
So this
approve.
creeps towards 6, 7, 8 Sanshoku, so it looks like we're gonna walk it over a little. Oh, this is so
Ishunton for
dangerous.
Suonko.
No pin tiles at all.
5 so turns this into a 3-sided shape, still headless. Five can
Great.
shift this up, potential Pinfu now. Or no, I guess it can't be Pinfu because you have all
Another
those
pin.
1s in there. There's an Onko and a 1, 2, 3.
We're making our progress very slowly but surely.
9 so, well, there's your Sun
It's
Onko. I think you just
Senpai.
slam it. Yeah.
All right, we
This
just
is
take
also a
it.
dealer Riichi, and everyone probably goes, wait, what? You probably don't have anything. Why is dealer carrying a Riichi here? Because Yuzuki just has no incentive to do this.
So this is Tenpai, but is it worth it for Nakano? That's the question.
Is it Tenpai?
It could have been.
No. No, it's a 2, 4, 5. There's a 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7. There were still 2 runs in the hand.
Was it? Oh no, you're right. I'm sorry. There was an extra pair.
Yeah, it's weird when you have 4 tiles in a cod and you're not using it as a cod.
Yeah, I read it wrong.
And looks to just be folding out at this point. But the
Looks like
Shinitsu isn't
getting
done
out
yet.
of the way.
It could even potentially be Churen. By the way,
Ooh.
this is also Tenpai Dama on 6-mon.
And it deals
When
in
you're
with a
Tenpai on the
9
Dora
mon.
indicator, we'll just deal in Riichi. Yep, just Riichi.
Not so bad.
Extra foo, so I guess that's 1/50.
Yeah, 1 in 50 for the dealer is 2,400. Yeah.
Yes. It's one of those cursed ones you should know because it also means it's the same value for a Damachi toy. Which is one of the most cursed hands in Mahjong. Damachi toy Nomi.
Damachi, well, that's what, yeah, it ends up being 2 in 25, which is the same. Not the most auspicious set of tiles I've ever seen.
No, it has to be pairs. There, you get any Yakuai pair, then you can either just go toy, you can go chi toy, but until then, on the other hand, this is an East. I'd much prefer that. There's also a great starting hand. Forso would really help. Tumon doesn't really do much. Just gonna keep cutting honors for now.
All right, Nakano's just got plus about 60K to make.
Yeah, and the important thing is it doesn't matter what Yuzuki wins. It's all about Miyuchi and Misaki here. The other two are basically just here for show. Yuzuki especially would just love something to be cool. If you have a situation where you ever go for a cool hand rather than a proper hand, this is that situation.
Now is the time. Yeah, now is the time when it's just, hey, what's neat? Got these Hakus, but
Formon Onko
oh,
could potentially shift to Honitsu, but it says a 6-7 to get rid of. And we'll shift this up. There are Sanchikus, but require more shifting. One Mon connects to the 2. That's definitely a move towards Honitsu type draw, but got the East anyway. Of course, we also note the East was not called.
no.
Well, that's just a pair up. Wanted the 2, but it may be time to get rid of it. Yeah, there it goes. Wanted to hedge the Sanshiku, but sometimes it's just not there. They
Another
one pair up. Okay, gets rid of the Penchun.
Another
Dora pair up. Well, now you're just going Tanyao. I don't even think about
Yeah,
this. One so. If I get a 3, I don't care. It's God. You just throw the one so now.
2
4.
through
Well, that
4.
completes the shape. Now Ishan 10. And another pair here. 5 connects to the 6. Again, it's just Tanya. You don't really care. How much safety do you want, and do you have enough blocks? The answer is you do not have enough blocks. That's why those 2s are being held. All right, well, there's your Tempai. That is a Riichi Dora 1 4-7 pin.
Here's all the 4 pins. What are we doing?
Ishunten, no.
Getting out of the way. But it's not time.
Well, that's a
Yuzuki's
fighting
not doing it.
hand.
East comes out, so everyone else is bailing. Nakano can't afford to just bail. Yuzuki's kind of not feeling it. Which makes
Ishunten for
sense.
Tanya Dora 1. Oh, and there's an Ishunten as well.
Shun is safe.
To some real issue here. 6, well, it's only to slide down, but breaks the Ishunten.
Okay, 6 is out. Hots goes.
Well, that's just
That's
Tempai. I imagine you have
Senpai.
to slam this.
We're just jamming it.
Tanya Dora 2 could be Dora 3 here.
Dora
2
3.
Mon Tuso.
Oh boy.
Of course, you see 1 each in that hand, so the Tuso is dead. I'm looking for the last Dubon. It looks like it's in a bond, so this weight is dead.
Oh no. There's no finishing this. Yeah, like if
Yeah,
his
that's definitely a
episode
2
was-
there.
Which it almost definitely will not.
Now I have Ishun 10. Managed to get back in eventually. And still this 4-7.
Ooh. This is a tough showdown.
There's the 7. Just switches back into the Tonki and Stubo Tanyao.
Oof. Oof.
Just select
Tiny
the
weight.
correct Tonki.
Tiny wait for Miyochi, but Miyochi now gets back into second place.
Yes. Again, Yuzuki and Nakano are basically not a factor in this game.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
all about the Miyuchi versus Misaki battle. And I see a lot of pin tiles, and it's not a pin Honitsu, just how the hand was covering the tiles, but it's still a really nice 79 Sanjuku. This has a South Onko, pretty nice starting hand. Has a West pair, few other pairs. 9 Mon doesn't do much immediately, can just throw it back, could also go 2 pin. East not going to help, but will be called here. You can hedge towards the Honitsu, so I always cut the 1 here. Instead cuts the 5, not even going to disguise it. That is a Honitsu play. 4 pin Onko. West goes back, already discarded 1, of course. 3-month pair up, moves the hand a little bit forward, but still long. 1 so, great draw. Now Ishunta needs 5 so, and Haku.
Some basic dragons coming out.
4 extends the shape there, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Hearts comes out. 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, we can scoot over to 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, there's a Sanchiku route, but it still require a lot of work. 4 is another miss. Needs those Sozu. One spell extend this to a Ryankan 135. No real value though. Well, that's just Ishan 10, headless. I see Peiko Dora 2 Tonki would be fine. 4,
There we
now a
go.
much wider Ishan 10.
The Haku is
And
now
another
4
Haku.
final
Haku
weight,
as a
yeah.
Tonki is pretty dead now.
But now it's a safe tile, so hey, we get some positive out of that.
8, so ooh, Sanshoku,
Okay.
but I'd gotten rid of the 9 earlier. Maybe a 6, 7, 8 in there somewhere, but gonna require some effort. 9 pins a miss. 2 Mon, okay, cuts the one so says I don't really want to throw that into this Honetsu.
I feel like our ideal draw for that Hone. Oop, there's a 6.
Oh,
Thank you,
well.
7.
We'll hold the 9 still.
We now have 2 3-sided
And that
shapes there.
Haku cut definitely screams Tempai. It's not Tempai.
Yeah, something. Oh, wow.
Dora pair, Riichi, Peiko, Dora 2.
Yep.
Waiting on 8 pin.
Time to send it.
It does have the Suji trap as well with the 5.
Call it.
Ipatsu broken. Oh, and there's the 8 pin.
Oh, no. It's just going to lurk there. Oh, and the 7.
Josh,
the 7
yeah, just
shows
get out of
exactly
here.
what you wanted to draw instead, too.
Yuzuki doesn't care. She's
That call
out.
really jammed things up. That's a shame.
2 Mon pair up, but this just looks like a fold still. 2, not it. Waiting Tempai 2, 5, 8. So the 8 would of course be a double Roan, but there is a Tamahane on, so. Only one gets credit for the win. Can cut away. Okay,
Oh,
that's
wow.
full.
All right.
Could also have cut 6 though.
Well, it's still East round, right? That's just switching Tempai.
There's the 7. The 7 would have dealt in. But yeah, just getting out.
Now we're out. Yeah. Now there's no way to. We switched up our East on 10, but.
Man, still waiting on the 2, 5, 8. Went south, south, and there's the third
Alright.
one.
Oh, if you're folding, fold. Don't mix it up.
If you're folding, fold until you know you can get K10.
Yeah.
And I don't think you're in a position for that just yet. Ends up throwing the 6 anyway.
Evan's having some hard choices
Wow.
here.
It became Gimbutsu. Oh, well, that 2 still doesn't feel great, but it is Suji at least.
Now we have 2 more safe tiles.
There's the 2, just deals
2.
into the Tanyadora 1.
Pandora. Yeah. Another
Again,
Another win for
this is a
Yuzuki.
handshake where Yuzuki says,
Huge.
take my points, it's fine. Let's move things along.
Yep. Doesn't really hurt her that much. Oh, this is getting dire though. It's South 1.
We're already in South 1. And again, it's all about the current East player and the current South player. North pair up, actually pretty quick hand, but not much value. Similarly here, maybe you could turn into Riichi Pinfu. I don't know. Maybe there's an Itsu, maybe there's a Tanyo. 4, a whole
4 is a good
bunch of
pick.
Mon tiles, but not even going to consider the whole Itsu. Does have a loose Hatsu though. 1 pin connects to the 3, and this is a bit of an ugly hand. Maybe some 1, 2, 3
Yeah.
Sanchiku through shifting, but it's still ugly. West going to go
West.
right back. East pair up. We're not in East round anymore though.
Just throwing that door away. We're just gonna be done with it.
Clear it now, and your hope is to just kill it.
7, 8 links up.
And you're
Wilson
glad
controls
when it gets followed by someone else.
Yep. It's like everyone agrees the Dora is not happening this time.
5 connects with the 6, but there's just no value here.
Yeah.
South the miss. And you just, this hand started bad, and it's still really, really bad. Usually
is
it
tough,
started
too.
bad, but it got a little bit better. It really didn't.
Ah,
Not that one. The 6
this
is an
is
awkward draw.
rough.
You
Yeah.
really want to go Tanyao. And we'll hold the 7 so as a pair. Could even potentially call for the Tanyao, but will not do so.
Consistently drawing one off where you want to be. All right, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5. Not so bad. We'll get rid of
And I
that.
believe that's Misaki, so definitely wants to shut this down, but at the same time needs points. Eight, so pair up could go Tanya, will not even consider it. Likes the north safe tiles. Oh, there's an Ishan 10.
Isha 10. This folds down a little bit also.
Well, there now the door is officially dead.
Yeah, for all but the most extreme hands. Don't need
Yeah, the
to.
surprise Kokushi. The last one deals it, you go, huh?
Huh.
Road? Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Pair up there with the Pei. Really wanted the 1-3 Sanchiku, but it's just not happening.
No.
Pei is now paralocked. Right, so
Eight.
can't really use Itsu here, so might as well just throw it back. 6 pin. Oh, that 1-1 is so annoying in this hand. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
has to slide this down, but it's so cheap, and there's no real route to making anything from it. 1 pin is useless. Could cut the 4-mon just to try and keep a little bit more safety.
Yeah, that might be a good play here because his hand is just stubbornly refusing to go places.
And yeah, it does. Thinks about it for a while and eventually comes to the same conclusion. 5 connects very nicely with a 3. That is now Ishunten for Riichi Pinfu as well.
There's been a long wait for hands that have just refused to
There's
go
the
anywhere.
4th Dora. Forso, there's Tempai on the expensive end. This is Riichi Pinfu Tanyao, 5-8. 5-8 in Manzu, and this is the hand Misaki needs. Speaking of 8s, there's one drawn.
8 so comes and goes.
9 is a miss. No Ipatsu here. 8 pin could take perfect Ishunten, but we'll just throw the 8 back.
Follow.
I think just pay. Now, just sticking with Genbutsu, also very reasonable here. You're a little concerned. Why is Pei still alive at this point?
All right.
Well, it could back into the Sanshoku now, but still very unlikely. 3 pins on it. It's still that 5-8.
All the
Well,
fives
another
getting boogered up
5, so
over
that's
here.
half of the out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I count 6 of them in hands.
Oh, man, we could throw that 8 so and go for hard Sanshoku.
I just
But-
want to go pay or just fold, and yeah. Again, it's Mayuchi's actually fine even passing dealer here.
Well,
Because
here
the
we
game
are.
were to end like this, it's fine with her.
You're just gonna Dama this. Which is probably a
June,
good
isn't
call.
it?
It's not worth reaching.
Yeah, this is a Pinfu, so you don't need anything.
And it's... Huh. What do we do here? All right, yeah, we are gonna look at
cleared
that.
a while back, so it's it had that for a while. Was of course also Genbutsu.
6 is clear.
An interesting situation. If you're Mayuchi, do you just declare no set and move the game? But it doesn't matter. There's our Pinfu.
Yep. A 9 snags it, and we just keep shoving this game forward.
And I will gladly take the Riichi stick.
That also pulls Yuzuki back into first, which is the optimal position. Not that she needs the points, but means everyone else has to be more stressed.
We're in South 2, and this is a big hand for Mizuki. Mayuchi's already had a turn, so this is your last dealer now. And has a Dora and an East pair, so it may just be a call and go. The rest of the shapes aren't ideal, but the Sozu's nice, so the 5, 6, 7, 8.
Got a 4, 5, 6 in here. Got some pairs.
And Salsa, a reasonable hand of the Dora. Chun pair. And there was a
Calling that
call
East
of the
already.
East. Might just throw the Chun. Keeps the 1-pin pair locked in, holding the Chun. 8-mon pair up. 3-pin pair up. Could go Chitoi even. Might not call the Chun. 3-pin pair up. We'll see if that's a pull and does not take it. Okay, it was.
Oh.
Camera baited me a bit there.
Well, we have a chance at Toy Toy here.
And this is just
Awesome.
G.
This is Chi, yeah.
G
Chun out.
Shunten.
Are we taking the Chun? We're taking the Chun.
Taking the Chun. Well, you don't have to lock it in just yet. This is a, we'll take our 1 Han if we get it, but I like Toy Toy. 4 so connects to the 5, 5, 7. 6. Ugh. That's just not the hand you want when people are calling like this.
Oh, we have Chanta in the mix now.
Oh, door 2. Well, that's a draw.
That's
That all of a
exciting.
sudden makes the hand very scary. 6, a perfect draw. Can just got 9 so here.
Which might get grabbed.
Ishunten for the Tanya, but okay, there's our pull and there's our Tempai.
It's
Waiting on
Chanta.
Tumon.
It could be upgraded to Toy Toy if all things go right. I'm very excited by this Chanta. Actually, if it gets upgraded to Toy Toy, it could even be upgraded to Honroto.
See, that would be what I'd be excited
Some
about.
very explosive action possible.
Oh, another pair, but doesn't really feel good here.
No.
Yeah, just throws it back. Those middle pairs are just so bad.
Oh, that 9-mon. Who doesn't want that 9-mon?
Switch it over to a 3 so can potentially cut a Dora. Not ideal, but if you get Tempai for East Door 1, you have to take it, I feel.
Yeah. There's no time to dally. Is the thing.
8 so. Does kind of hurt there,
4,000.
but you take it. 3 so, well, okay, now you know the 3's clear anyway.
Yeah, if you have to get rid of it, you're all right. But now everyone.
Another
becomes a beast.
pair up. It just stuck pairing up. That was a Tanya Chitoi, apparently.
Oy. That'll get called.
That is Tempai. East Dora 2. The 3 so's already safe, waiting 6, 9.
That's rough because the 9's already been consumed. Oh,
Chitoi,
so many pairs.
10. And we know the 6 deals in here. Yeah, just gets out the 2 deals in as well, though.
Ah.
Yeah, that is not Chanta. It is just Chun.
Oh no, the 3s.
And Ryuichi is thrilled with that result. Yuzuki's thrilled with that result. Means Yuzuki now just passes dealer, and unless Nakano go double Yakuman or something, then it's just between the 2 we've been focused on the whole time. In this situation, do you just fold from turn 1?
Kind of, yeah. It's like there's no reason to make a hand.
Yeah, I have done this a couple times, going for Kokushi from 1 terminal in honor. And it's this exact type of situation where it's, it's not worth playing. But instead, it looks like Yuzuki's going to at least start out with it. Cutting the west and then the north. And this 5 so connects with the 2, 3, 4. It's not a great hand, this dealer, but not completely abandoning. And yeah, we just see that looks like a Kokushi attempt. The 3 fills the penchant. 8 connects to the 9, but it's just not great. Does allow you to accept a 7-mon Dora. 9 so pair up, but it's already part of a 7, 8, 9. 8-pin fills in nicely. Another Kanchun fill. 1 mon doesn't really do anything. 5 so doesn't do anything. Yeah, that's definitely a Kokoshi play.
It's kind of got to be at this point. 2, 3, 4
3
gets
so
filled.
fills another Kanchun. Possible Arianman with a 2, 3, 4, 4.
Got another terminal there with a 9.
Can't just go with the 5 so here, but it's headless, so you could go 2-pin or even 6 mon. I don't like 6 mon that much, but I think 2-pin or 5-pin are probably my choices. And it's essentially those two and the 5 so, and yeah, it goes with the 5-pin.
7, 8 comes together. All right.
Haku's a miss. Okay, we're getting there.
Yeah,
2
this could really
Shunten
happen.
now. Oh, well, that was definitely the right play. Now East Shunten. And that's an Ipeko upgrade. You just cut the 8 mon.
Yeah. All right. All right. Everyone's suddenly getting places. South.
9 so
Oh,
it's a
9.
pair up, but it's not a unique pair, so it doesn't advance the Shunten. 5 mon pair up, you go 9-9. Nope, throws it back.
Hmm. Maybe holding the 9s for safety is actually valuable in this situation.
Is a 9 safe when a 7's Dora?
Yeah.
We just saw first Dora come out, thrown by the Kogoshi hand. Certainly one you'd expect to throw it.
Oh, interesting.
Yuzuki's, yeah.
Not.
I think it's just wants out. Like, I'm perfectly
Yeah.
fine with this. It's the I wanted to try if I had something nice and easy, get the big television hand, but it's not there, so we're out.
The moment I draw something that's slightly challenging in this
There's
situation.
our Riichi. This is
There's our
Riichi
Riichi.
Pinfu.
All right. What do we value in our lives?
Does have the 1 chance on the 4. Throwing the 2. Well, there's another Dora, and
Nora,
that's
what an
it. Nope, you're
unfortunate
done.
pick. Ah, what a shame. What a
Yeah,
shame.
just a 1-4, so wait. I see 3 of those 4s here, and the last one in the pond in front of us. So how many birds do we see? I see at least 2.
Tenpai, and we're
That's our
slamming it.
chase. This is Riichi Nomi 2-pin. Yeah, I believe there's 1 so for the Ryanman 1-4 weight.
Well, this brings up that question. Should Nakano even chase here with so little ability to accomplish anything?
Because Yuzuki is going to break dealer, then it's fine. Well, back to Tenpai. As I say that, I feel almost 100% confident that if you get Tenpai here, you declare no 10 as Yuzuki.
Just push it forward. Just be done with it.
Yes, there is no advantage to having a repeat here. And that is something you can do in live play that you can't do in online clients. You just say, by the way, I was no 10.
That's an interesting feature. But you're right. I don't think any online clients will let you do that. That's interesting. No, we're just running out of time here.
Yeah, there's really not much to say.
Those
Yeah,
who are
okay,
in are
gets
in.
out. Says we're giving up on this. There it is, 2 players Tenpai.
Yep.
And we are in all
Big
last.
Already in all last. A blazing fast game today. But it
It's
is
just the
Nakano's
incentive
all
for the
last.
players. Nakano has a high roll. Yuzuki just wants cheap shutdowns. And Miyuchi and Misaki are just head to head. And now
Yeah.
Misaki, the gap here is not as bad as it is as you might think because there is 2,300 in the middle.
That's true, which means that brings her up to what? 23.9,
23.9.
which is 5. No, it's 4,200. So basically 3 and 40. gets her over the
Yeah,
top.
340. 330 I
330
don't
sumo.
think is enough even with the Homba.
I think on
It'd have to
sumo
be
it is.
340. Let's see, would it be? No, it would not. It'd be 100 short.
Oh no.
But as you look at these hands, 5, 6, 7 Sanjiku looking pretty good. We have a Chun pair. And this is Yuzuki, who might just call it down. Double Yakuhai. I feel Yuzuki just has the best hand here. There's a Chun. We going to see the call? We are just going for it. It's such a free hand. Already Ishunten can pull the
Ease.
non and just be Tempai, potentially.
I think a 3 and 30 would work on sumo. Because Miyuchi also loses 1,000.
Oh, yeah, you do lose the 500.
Yeah, I
from
think
the
I think
sumo.
it bumps out right.
Yeah, the 1,000.
Oh man.
Briso fills in nicely, definitely towards a Tanya.
4.
4 moves that towards a Tanya Pinfu.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Billy Shunten. Last tune. Out it goes.
Right.
4-pin pair up. There's our tone. 2-pin. Oh, a bit of a
Completely
backfire
unwanted.
there.
Okay, Nakanada's pushing towards Tanya or something to keep this going. That's really Dora draw.
Oh, and
is
you know what
ugly
I'm
from this hand.
thinking? I'm concerned because there is also the Yuzuki's hand is 3 Han right now if you get the south. Would not be enough unless there's con or some sort of extra value, but that is another way Mizuki could manage to sneak out of here with this. As if Miyuchi ends up
direct
dealing
hit.
into a Mangan, yes.
Yeah. There's always the opportunity for someone else to make a bigger mistake.
We'll hold the 5 over the 6.
Haku's a whiff.
Haku's a miss. 9 Mon. Well, it creates a penchant. You're not thrilled with it, but
there's a south.
Oh, there's our
Yep, south.
Tempai.
Now we're Tempai.
Waiting 2-5, so that is 3 Han. Chu non Dora 1.
Rough. This might be over before we even get the chance for a dramatic.
Takes the Shunten now for Itsu and Adora.
4, 5,
Ooh,
6, 7,
6
8.
in Sanjiku, but not going to take it. Just cuts away.
7 is gingerly tossed out.
This is a please don't road. And there's the 7. I'm just going to call this down.
Ooh, this is tricksy because it's a 9-6-3 weight, but only the 3 and the 6 will be successful.
Yeah, Satozuki with the Tanya always feels weird. Well, there's a
All right.
5 pair up. You just cut north. Yes.
Oh, very lucky.
You don't really want to throw those 5s, and we know that 5 would be the end of the match.
That is a lucky escape from that trap.
Haku's going to do anything, but yeah, just probably folding out. Well, that's Tempai. It's not the one you wanted.
Is it? Oh, it would be. It could be.
Yeah,
Tempai.
it has to be.
Pin
It's
only.
Riichi,
Just
Sumo, Dora 1.
Throw the north and hang out.
Throw
No,
the
we
stick
slam
in.
It. We slam it.
Now, the advantage of this is you have to remember Nakano must fight for Tempai. So even if you don't win this, if there's just a repeat, that's fine.
But that's it.
Doesn't matter. That's the end
Nakano
of the
has to
game.
steal in. Game over. Oh man. What a
So we said had to fight,
game.
and that's just it. Yuzuki says I didn't need it, but I'll take a free first on top of it. Absolute dominant performance. 150.6 for the team. 43.6 in this match. Will advance. Miyuchi did enough here.
Yeah.
With the 8.1 second team for minus 0.3 is enough. Mizuki, though, you can see the look on the face of Nakano, just nothing.
I mean, it's a rough game walking in with such a deficit, and then, either you do something explosive or you lost. That's a tough spot to be in.
Yeah, there's just not much you can do to control that. And that is a frustrating thing when you're head-to-head with someone, and you have another player just shutting everything down. It's no, I
Yeah.
want to have a one-on-one fight. Get out of here.
Yeah, it's a really challenging table situation. It's very interesting because yeah, you have two people who are kind of not in it. They're not like refusing to play or anything. but
Right.
They're not. They don't have the same stakes,
Yes.
and that makes it much harder to work around them.
That's what happens if the player that was hot is the member of the team that was hot. You're just gonna run the score there, and that's what ended up happening. Big win there on the end as well to capitalize and end in the first place. But congratulations.
Excellent work. Excellent work. All right. So 2 players advance.
We have some final team scores, and we saw them on screen, but
Let's take a peek. All right.
these are our advancing teams from Table A, All Serious, 3 Arrows Channel. From Table B, Map and Fusion. From Table C, Free Mahjong Nico Nico and Mahjong League Stadium.
Table D, we got Bar Bing and Mahjong Pro Keirinbu. And Table E is Bar Brio and Heartland. And at Table F is Ampai and TF Channel.
So congratulations to all of those. As mentioned, sounds like the semifinals is very much a, what is that, 1-game match for everyone and then
Here.
1 wild card?
It's going to be intense.
That's pretty intense because you're trying to high roll, but at the same point, you don't want to kill off your chance for that second place advancement. But what happens in a lot of those is, I've played in situations like this before. What tends to happen is you have one team that just goes off at most of the tables, and then the second place team is whoever managed to farm the other 2 struggling to fight back. That you get a table where one just gets way ahead, and then 2 teams that are just trying everything they can to high roll and usually just not hitting. And if you can get their points, that's how you get that advanced slot as the highest second place team in the semifinals. But we will find more of this in the broadcast tomorrow. As for us, we're just going to go ahead and wrap it up. So we do hope to see you tomorrow. It's the rare back-to-back-to-back-to-back broadcast of the Sankei Shimbun Cup. So for everyone here, we have Nathanael, Dave, this is Corak, and who else do we have today? Jenn, Chiral, of course, Jenn especially, who organized and puts a lot of work on this behind the scenes. So for everyone out there, we hope to see you tomorrow, same time, same place.
For sure. And if you are in the New York City area, we'll be, I don't know, having a watch party at Sparrow's Nest. We'll definitely have this on. So if you want to come by and view, we'd love to have you.